We're going to be starting off on DNA Labs. For those of you who are new here, the way it works is that there are 5 starter stages for our 2 players to choose from. Those starter stages are DNA Lab, as you can see here, Sparring Ring, Bust the Beach, Temple Grounds, and DNA Lab. No, I've said DNA Lab twice. What have I missed? Sparring Ring. There you go. It's a 1-to-1 stage ban system with the highest seed banning first, and then obviously we get the last 2 stages picked from. So it's DNA Lab, Aloya on the left is Twintel with the slaps and the the chakram, and Spike here on the right as Springman coming in with the Toaster and the Thunderbird. So both coming in with a curved arm. Aloya, interestingly going for double the curved arms. With DNA Labs, it can work since you have the 6 tubes and one stuns. One knocks you into the air, but it's still going to be interesting to see if Aloya can keep this going. But Spike so far has a read for this. They're going in with the direct punch of the toast. Obviously, if it hits charge, Aloya will immediately hit the deck. And so far, Spike has Aloya's number, able to thwart the Tintail before she can really get into shape or get anything going whatsoever. Finally does ping through with the chakra, but look at how much of a health lead Spike has already. Commits to the rush, gets the KO. Very quick, very quick point there for Spike. Started things off with a bang. And what is going to be the response from Aloya? Aloya is now going to bring in a toast of her own. Going to come in with a heated glove, and is unfortunately going to get caught almost immediately by the Thunderbird, and obviously charged up as well. Spike here already committed with the right arms, and they are going to take that rush. And again, quickly being stuck in that corner, and now Aloya will start to turn the tables just a little bit. The double curved option definitely didn't work for them, but certainly putting on the Toaster has definitely helped bring things down. Also, the lack of the tubes means that Spike doesn't have as many places to dance around now. And so far, it's worked out beautifully for Aloya. And just like that, another quick point, but this time going against Spike. So 1 apiece in this match. Spike is going to switch things up. Now going to drop the Toaster and bring in the Tri-Blast. So horizontal pressure against Twintel, which, to be fair, Twintel does like to get into those positions where they can also utilize the Actress Aura. Just slows everything down just a little bit to give themselves a bit more of advantage. But Spike will be trying to box that out with the Explosive Bolt. Gets a little bit of chip damage, but unfortunately Aloya is going to get the shield up. Caught by the explosion of the Tri-Blast though. And we're starting to lose a few more tubes. Just 2 tubes left and another 260 rush landing on Spike, who is slowly losing their advantage, but does get another knockdown thanks to the charged up blast, and actually scores another one. Aloya just caught out in mid-air. This pressure now starting to shift back into Spike's momentum, and with every punch that Spike throws out, they've got a rush already built up. Did get the shock. I don't think they were expecting the Thunderbird to actually hit there, so they'll take it, and the grab is going to connect despite the slowed down Actress Aura coming out. Commitment from Aloya is going to punish her, and that is 335 damage. Big time rush from Spike. And after a very nervy second point, Spike will take the initiative in this set. It's a 2-1 point, but it's a 1-0 lead. Very interesting how that entire match played out, especially with how quick Spike started off, and Aloya obviously with the wrong loadout. Double curved arms can work on DNA Labs, but Spike just barely took any damage in that point. Aloya realized that, switched into that Toaster, and definitely performed better, but that third point, Spike just suddenly realized that they were able to just play that aggressive card a little bit more, and the Tri-Blast certainly helps. The Tri-Blast gives Twintel less places to jump to, and less time to utilize the Actress Aura. On top of that, the Tri-Blast is an explosive arm. If it hits, it deals its initial damage first, and then it explodes if it's charged. And generally, if Twintel's already in the air, she's essentially taking the whole of that damage before she even hits the floor. So, Spike definitely, both of them had good calls on changing their arms when it just wasn't quite working out for them. So, we'll see how we progress here as we move on to Buster Beach. For the second point onwards in each set, we get ourselves 2 stages, 2 counter picks added to the list. Those 2 counter picks are Scrapyard and Via Dos. The winner bans 2 stages from those 7, and the loser of the previous match picks where we go from there. And as a result, Lawyer is going to pick Buster Beach. Gonna switch now, switching from the Twin Tail to Min Min. Coming in with the Chakram still, but also not coming in with a wonderful little umbrella. A wonderful windy umbrella. With the Power Soul really technically in the game. Spike is gonna stick with the Springman, sticking with the Tri-Blast and the Thunderbird, but so far these Chakram Suns are poking their way through. In fact, Spike has been caught by at least 3 of them now. Make that 4, make that 5. And Aloria suddenly has momentum well and truly on their side. Realize the fact that with Min Min, you can have that left arm perma-charged as long as you do not get knocked down or grabbed. And you can see that that means the Chakram has such a bigger hitbox, and it's already poked Spike all the way down into crit. And Spike just hasn't had an answer for that. Spike has not been able to do anything whatsoever about that Chakram. And they're going to need to try and do something different. Interesting that Aloria decides to put the Chakram away and bring in the Roaster. They're going to try and permacharge that up immediately, but Spike says no to that plan. But now they were able to get just a tiny bit longer. Spike is going to make sure that can't be utilized. Coming in with that Toaster, having switched out from the Tri-Blast. And now it's Aloria's turn to go for the rush. 330, both pretty much back down into even territory. And there we go, Spike just about coming back out of that pocket. Arm weak on the right hand side for Aloria. Should just be able to hang on. This pressure not too much from Spike. They are starting to dip towards that critical condition. They need to be very careful here. That Roaster is an unguided arm, so you have to do a whole lot more planning and trajectory with that throw out. But it does so much damage as a result. And Aloria is going to get the KO. Baiting Springman out, firing in with the rush. That is a 2-0. And in our first round of the day, we're going to match number 3, my friends. As a reminder, all of the rounds are best of 3s until we hit winners final. Once we hit winners final, that will be a best of 5. In fact, all of our matches in top 3 are best of 5, which is winners final, underground final, and the grand itself. And also the reset if we so need it. Do we have results from other rounds so far? Yes, we do. Kozolina has dispatched Yoshi Bowser by 2 points to 0, which means Kozolina will go on to face against Rafa. Rafa currently chilling in the chat. Good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying yourselves there. Spike was locked down there, should have slowed it. Indeed. It's really the case of, like, when you look at those things back and you realize what you did wrong, it's like Aloria is just building on momentum by allowing them to be able to play the way they do. So, we want to see what happens here. Aloria is going to stick with the Min Min. Spike is now going to switch from the Springman into Lollipop as we head into Sparring Ring. Now, this is going to be a very interesting choice here. Obviously, Lola, a lot more bouncy. Can waddle along with that shield. Maybe put a bit more pressure on this Min Min. Immediately deflects the Roaster. Just see it just ping straight up into the sky. As we're going to see Burchuck and Coolerang. So they're aiming to try and just fully stall out Min Min's play here. Stop her from being a very quick noodle. And also just keep that Dragonon from being charged up. Because you notice that Aloria has brought out the Chakram again. And does have it charged up. And immediately lands a mid-air shot with it. Which is just how... It's just how intimidating that arm can be. Arm weak on the right-hand side though, so Spike putting in a lot of pressure of their own. Finally does punch through and actually breaks the arm in the process. Now the left arm is weak, so Spike is starting to get into this match. They had a very slow start to it, but this is starting to turn into their favor. Naturally, Aloria does still have rush available, so they could still take the health lead back and commits for it, but Spike is not going to take any damage. That very much brings us back down to square one, but that was not what they needed. Another mid-air hit from a charged up Chakram, but again, quickly knocking Aloria down. These two are just trading left and right here. And with 30 seconds to go, it's anyone's guess where this is going to go. The roaster finally hits through and pings the Lola into critical. That's another hit. That's another tap with the chakram. One more hit will do it for Aloya, and finally gets it. That was as intense as it gets there. Both just trading their punches. Spike managed to do the hard part and dodging that rush. Is going to commit to this double cold strategy. The Burchuk and the Coolerang. The Burchuk does have 2 modes of attack. One on the ground, one in the air. And Spike again slows down. Both gonna go for the rush. They both blinked at the exact same time. And it's Aloya who gets the better of it. Despite that start for Spike, they've got to do it all again. They've got their, well, I said they've got their health lead. They are both again on just similar health, which goes to show you how close this match on Sparring Ring really is. Chakram is just about missing. The grab was way off. Spike was already in a good position to counter that. And it's Aloya who dips past the halfway mark first. Spike does have rush charged up. Aloya has enough time to get the Chakram back up to perma charge. So it's really the case of when will Spike commit, but they cannot afford to allow Aloya to get another rush in, especially with the arm weak on the left hand side. Could be a shield break if Aloya can time this right. Both of these curved arms, they're just bouncing off the shields for the time being. The chill finally does land, and Aloya is on the cusp of critical. You notice that if the freeze does hit, Aloya does lose the use of that dragon arm as well, so they have to charge it up again. And does score a grab. Now this means that both are in KO range, so where is this going to go? Aloya is going to get forced all the way back. And Spike unfortunately did not block it. And it means that it's going to be a 2-0 victory to Min Min in the end. Aloya playing a very patient game and wins it out with a 2-1 set. You hate to see it happen like that for Spike. They were just pinned in there. They had to try and rush out of that, but instead of just standing there, they should have got the shield up. And as a result, it will be Spike dropping down into the underground bracket. And it will be Aloya advancing on to the second round. Very close match from both sides there. Gotta love how that plays out. And it looks like we have our round 2 matchups pretty much set and ready to go. So it'll be Riffa to take on Aloya after all of that. Yam has managed to beat Stone Ant 2-0. They will take on Okrim in round 2, who also beat Ney 2-0. And Replicant will take on Penzo. Penzo also beating Alimento 2-0. So the only match not to go 2-0 there was the first match of the stream, which was Aloya Spike. So that's just how it goes, but there you go, that's the seedings for you. And it looks like we are going to have Rafa versus Kosalina for our next encounter. Just joining the lobby now. These two players we've seen time and time again. It's always interesting to note that Kosalina has only placed third in this cup once. They've been so consistent in other tournaments, but in the Challenge Cup, it's very inconsistent for her. So I'm hoping to see that we can see her rise to the occasion this time round and make a very good solid bid for that top 3 finish. We know Rafa, former winner, has placed in the grand finals a good number of times on their run as well. Yes, their only win was all the way back in the second cup, but they're no stranger to making it to the grands. They last got there 2 tournaments ago, so it's, you know, Rafa has that consistency on their side, but Kosalina on her day can very well shake up the foundations of these kind of competitions. So we'll see if that plays out a similar way. Like I said, going into this, Riffa is the reigning champion. They are looking to tie Iceman for 12 wins of this cup. They've still got a long way to go to do that, but you know, they are the #1 seed for a reason. So we'll see if anybody can dethrone them. It's going to be Alora going up against them in their round 2 match. Remember, we are still in best of 3s. So we'll see what happens. We'll also keep you up to date what's going on in the underground bracket. There is a round going down in there at the moment, which is Stone Ant versus Nay. They need to fight each other to progress into round 2. Everybody else who has dropped down there has essentially gotten a bye. So we'll give you updates as they all come round. It will be Rafa on your left and Coslin on your right. Rafa coming in with Kid Cobra, coming in with a lot of hotness. We're going to see the Phoenix and the Nade. Coslino on the right is going to come in with Twin Tail, so we're going to a second Twin Tail of the stream. Coming in with the Nade as well, and also coming in with a slap, well, a slam even. And so far, this is a lot of aggression from Rafa, scoring a lot more of their punches, a bit more consistently here than Coslina, who's already dipped past the halfway mark. Both coming in with a lot of explosions, and it's just overwhelming. Coslina at this point does manage to at least block out the rush. Rafa just dropping right in their face and is quickly going to get grabbed out the air. But again, they have a massive health lead already. The Phoenix, if it's charged, will just run you straight down. And the Nade is going to explode right in front of Twin Tail. Cobra taking a very early advantage. It's just all aggression right now from Rafa, and Coslina needs to find a way of slowing this snake down, but it's easier said than done. They're going to try and come in with a tri-bolt. Comes for the rush as well, but Rafa is going to get shielded up in time, so no dice on this occasion. Kid Cobra always hits that little bit harder than other characters. Those gloves are just bigger by default, and it's going to fling in with another rush. 390 damage sends Coslina straight into critical. Does find a bolt grab combination, so they are at least getting some punches in, but as it stands, Cobra's relenting aggression is just proven just a little too much for her at the moment. But finally starting to get into a little bit of a rhythm here, and Rafa cannot afford to allow Coslina to start building this up, because she will get these pretty damn good plays in if she can make it. One more hit is all Rafa needs. Coslina quickly fires in with a panic rush. Actually does catch for 115, but Rafa knows all they need is one more hit, and that's what they're going to go for. But it's going to be shield and nothing more. Coslina gets a very good last second grab. Rafa on the cusp of critical, and Coslina has 25 seconds to somehow turn this around. Just misses out the ball. I think the Nade blocked it out. Finally gets the shield up. Phoenix just about missing. 20 seconds left on the clock, and unfortunately, finally, the Nade does hit through. But Rafa really having to work hard to try and get that final hit in. Coslina just would not go down and slowly was chipping away there. So you feel like, sure, Coslina did lose that one in the end, but that was starting to swing with her there. Like, Rafa just could not get that final hit in, and in the end, it was just that left step that finally guided her into the welcoming arms of Rafa. But we'll see what Match 2 can bring to the table. I definitely don't think Coslina is out of this just yet. Like I said, Rafa can't allow Coslina to start doing that in these kind of matches. Like, the second Coslina is able to move and just is not really getting hit with anything, you just feel it's only a matter of time before Coslina finds a way through, finds that stun into the grab combination, and just starts swinging with her. So it's going to be DNA Lab for our second pick of the day. Coslina is ready to go. Coslina does have another character in the back if she does want to switch to it, but we'll see how this ends up playing out. I think it might be another Twin Tail appearance, although we could see some arm changes. Rafa, I don't think Rafa will switch from Cobra anytime soon, so we'll see how this plays out. Remember, it is best of 3. Rafa does lead by 1-0. And we are ready to go. Now, this is going to be interesting. Now, I haven't actually seen Coslina play Springtron before. I have actually not seen her play Tron before, so this is a very interesting decision, and we'll see how this ends up playing out. Obviously, Springtron has the EMP, which will allow them to get a little bit of increased movement and power for a little while, but it also acts as a chance to full-on shock out any incoming attack from Rafa, but only if it's timed right. And We'll see how it plays out. Hydra and Nade is going to be the choice for Kozolina for the moment. Rafa coming in with a Burchuck and a Popper, so coming in for some very quick action. The Popper, one of the quicker arms in the game. It can be punched through by a lot of things, but if it does fire on through and if it's charged, it's going to send Kozolina straight into the air or just flat out knocked down if they're frozen by the Burchuck. Finally does get a hit or two in, but again, Rafa has already built up such a high lead that it's going to be interesting to see if Kozolina can pull up any kind of comeback like she did almost last time round. But look at this onslaught from Rafa. The Burchuck comes out and then the Popper right after it. Kozolina finally gets a grab in, but another hit from the Burchuck. Rafa's going to keep hold of their rush. And this is looking absolutely dire here for Kozolina. Going to switch to double nade, so it's going to come out with high risk, high reward. Basically, go big or go home. Punches on through the Popper and scores with the rush 320 and activates EMP almost immediately. Not going to wait for Rafa to get up. Just wants to get the buffs as soon as possible. And look how quick Springtron moves as a result in this form. It does wear off eventually. And Rafa needs to come up with that kind of consistency. Does get a little bit on the rush, but isn't going to get the knockback that they want. And Kozolina will block out the rest of it. Double nade so far. The call for Kozolina, and it is starting to work, but Rafa now coming in with an aggressive play all of their own and rolling Kozolina into this corner, which against the Cobra is the last thing you want. Another grab sends Kozolina straight into critical condition. The explosion from the nade actually surprised Rafa there. The nade's gonna go for the rush, but Rafa gonna block it out. Takes 80, but they will take that. Another quick EMP, and that's an actual shock! And somehow Kozolina wasn't able to take advantage. That grab could have absolutely changed everything, but instead it's gonna be a KO. Kozolina whiffing with the grab, just too far to the left. You hate to see that happen, especially because I don't think they were expecting to catch an EMP shock there. But oh my word, that was unfortunate, but it means that Rafa will win that 2-0 in the end. And a very good showing from Kozolina. Again, the second point of both matches were a lot closer. Like, Kozolina was starting to get a little bit more ahead of steam. And double nade was working, but like I said, I just don't think they were expected to actually get the shock with the EMP. They got it, slipped to the left, had enough time to go for the grab, and unfortunately it tilted just a little too far to the left, and it gave Rafa enough time to shake it off and come back in for the KO. It sucks that that's how it goes sometimes, but you never know with these kind of competitions. So Kozolina is going to have to fight in the underground bracket. They'll face the winner of Stone Ant versus Nea. They are still fighting down there, so we'll keep you updated what happens down there. In the meantime, Replica and Penta, they are still fighting. Yam has defeated Okrim by 2 points to 0. So we're just waiting on 2 results. Well, technically we're waiting on 3 results, but you get the general idea. Hopefully it will not be too long. Hopefully everyone is having a good time so far. It's still very early days. I just need to back out of this lobby. There we go. And we actually do have confirmation that we do have a semi-final match ready to go. Replicant has defeated Pento 2-0. So a lot of 2-0s happening today. We've only seen 1 2-1 so far, and that was in round 1. That was between Aloria and Spike. So hopefully we don't get too many clean sweeps. We always do like to see matches be as close as possible. So we'll see. We'll see what comes up next. And it looks like it will be Rafa versus Replicant first. So we're just waiting for one of them to come in. But yep, that will be our first semi-final of the match stream. We will stream both semi-finals. And that will always be how it plays out. We always do both of the semi-finals and then going straight into winners final. So it will be Rafa to take on Replicant. once we've got... There we go. I need to snip this again. Just bear me one moment. There we go. Okay. We are back then. And Rafa's starting up immediately, or even though Replicant is not in the lobby yet. Please don't, I am not fighting you, my friend. Okie dokie. So, 2 former winners here. Replicant having won this twice. Rafa, again, like I said, having won this once. Both have a kind of good consistency at the moment. Replicant's last final appearance was 3 cups ago. Their last win, at least a little bit more sooner than Rafa's. Rafa's second cup appearance got them the win. Replicant showing up on the 38th cup was their last win. So, funny. Exactly 10 cups ago. Well, you want your bid to try and overthrow the Rift of Evolution. Now's your time to do it. So we'll see if they can just inch out above the rest and see if they can book their tickets into top 3. Because remember, once you make it into Winners Final, you're guaranteed a top 3 finish no matter what happens. Because, hey, if you lose in Winners Final, you're only going as far down as the Underground Final. So this is the part, if anything, that matters the most at this stage. So it looks like Buster Beach is going to be the call between the two. It'll be Rafa on the left of your screen, Replicant on the right. And we are starting off with a Lola Ditto. I don't think it's going to be a full Lola Ditto in the terms of arms. We do see both of them bring in a version of the bolts. It's going to be Tri-Blast and Lockjaw for Rafa. It's going to be Tri-Bolt and Phoenix for Replicant as our Lola Ditto is underway. Already you can notice that both of them being very bouncy, can waddle up with the shield, can bounce around quite a lot. And just that extra aerial abilities really make Lollipop shine in more ways than one. The Lockjaw, a very interesting choice for Rafa to go for, can fire on out with a fireball projectile before following, and then they follow up with the rest of the Lockjaw punch. And then obviously the blast being a very big explosive. Phoenix is the curved arm, and so far it's the Tri-Blast that's winning over the bolts. The more explosive power faring better against Rafa. Bolts are going to punch through the grab. Replicant thinking about going for that rush, but going to hang tight just a little bit. Rafa is not where they want to be. It's the Hot Pocket area for a reason. And how about that? Now that was an interesting exchange. Both went for the rush. I think Replicant thought they'd have it. They got caught by an explosion from behind. That explosion actually knocked them down. So it wasn't the end of the world for them there. But at the same time, Replicant is only a punch away from going down here to Rafa. And that would be massive if they can find a way through. They just need one more punch with 20 seconds left on the clock. It's such a massive margin, and you probably wouldn't want to use your rush at this stage. But getting hit by the Phoenix certainly isn't going to do you any good. 10 seconds left on the clock. Rafa knows they probably have this, barring some kind of an absolute tragic error, but it's not going to happen now, not with 2 seconds to go. A rush would certainly not do it, and they are going to hang out for the point. But crucially, both now with rush available, so we'll see how that plays out into this match. Rafa gonna come in with the Tri-Blast Lockjaw. Replicant gonna switch to that Hydra, so they're gonna see if they can catch Lola mid-bounce. That verticality can be an absolute pain for anyone who likes to be in the air for too long. Rafa's gonna commit to the rush, but is not gonna find anything for it, just a little bit of chip damage. Replicant bounces up high and shows Rafa how it's done. 190 damage, shoves Rafa into the corner. They're going to have to fight back up from there. Actually does get a pick with the Lockjaw. The projectile hitting through and breaks the arm on the right-hand side in the process. Gave them just a little bit more damage and puts them right back into contention. Bolts hitting through, not charged. Lockjaw just about flinging away. And the Phoenix, you can never forget about the Phoenix. Or you can never underestimate the range of that grab as well. Phoenix trying to fly over the Lockjaw. Did so, but the Lockjaw was going to always hit them first. that more direct blow, and it's what you're throwing into the wrist by throwing it with a curved arm. It helps, but if there's an arm that's quicker out there, it's gonna be curtains for you. Replicant stuck in that corner, does waddle on through with the shield, trying to get out of there ASAP, runs Rafa down with the Hydra. Replicant with Rush available if they can get themselves in a good position, and this is certainly going to be one of those. Gets Rafa into KO range. They know they have to win this. Rafa, if they win it, will take the lead of this set, and the Rush does land big time damage, and the Phoenix just gives them a little extra couple pecks, just to rub in the fact that they are right back in contention of this set. What is Rafa's choice going to be? Thinking about switching out, but instead decides to stick with the blast. No, they don't. They are going to switch it to the toaster. Sticking with that lockjaw, though. And Replicant, meanwhile, the Hydra working beautifully for them alongside the Phoenix. Every single time one of those hits charge, Rafa hits the deck immediately, and it gives Replicant enough time to think about where they want to go next, where they want to position themselves. For Rafa coming back up. Both, I think, went for the grab there. Both were denied the chance to do so. And again, the Hydra-Phoenix combination just poking on through Rafa. Both with Rush available. But Replicant has barely been hurt in this match here. It's just bouncing off the shield. And another arm break. And Rafa is fighting an uphill battle here. They were so close to leading this set. And Replicant has suddenly turned it around, but the Lockjaw Rush is going to come out. And look at the damage and how quickly that's turned. 435. Great play from Rafa. And now they got Replicant into the corner. Missed with the grab. And Replicant quickly bounces on back. They knew they had to retreat, get themselves a little bit of breathing space, and try to come back on the offensive. Toaster actually did hit, but Rafa couldn't get the second hit in time. And it's going to take another Hydra to the face. One more hit is going to do it. And it does so. And it is all for naught in the end. And Replicant coming back from that point down to lead the set by a 1-0. Very intense start to this semi-final match. You'll have to see these kind of matches come out. Rafa did such a good job actually coming back into that third and final point with a really good rush. Like I said, the Lockjaw, if it hits with the rush, you certainly know about it. It's up there with the missiles in terms of the damage it can do. With 435, quickly turned that straight back around, and Rafa was very much in contention, but Replicant holding on. That Hydra just being Lollipop's Achilles heel. As we wait now to see what they both have in store, it looks like it's going to be sparring ring. Rafa does like taking opponents to sparring ring as of late, so we'll see if this can play in their favour. Rafa initially going straight into it, but I think they realized they need to make a last second adjustment. Looks like they're going to do so. Replicant all set and ready to go. Will we see another Lola Ditto coming into this match? Always going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Remember, on the line is a place in top 3. And looks like Rafa's just having a little bit of issue here, so we're just going to wait to see what is happening here. Whilst we wait for this, we're going to just tell you that Rifa has defeated Aloria. Amusingly enough, Rifa Aloria went 2-1. It was not a 2-0 win for Rifa, it was a 2-1. Aloria scoring a point against them. You love to see and hear stuff like that happening, so it will be Rifa versus Yam in our second semi-final, but first we need to finish this set off. Rafa on the left coming in with Popper and Ice Dragon. Very interesting choice, especially with the stage that we're going into. Replicant with Phoenix and Roaster, and already taking damage. That freeze was up long enough for Rafa to come in with the grab. At the start of things in their favour, Replicant is going to get a couple hits in. Remember that the Popper is one of the quicker arms. Yes, Replicant is coming in with that Roaster. It's unguided, but it does so much damage. So it's just a case of, can Rafa use this combination? Especially with the fact that the Dragon is such a long-ranged arm. And so far, just let the shield go at the last possible second there. Gonna block out the roaster, both with rush available, and Rafa, again, another inspired decision to go dash in with the grab and actually catches the replicant off guard. Another popper just gonna get punched through, as it does against most things. Again, they both just want to take that center stage more, but it is gonna be Replicant falling foul of the rush. Will it KO? It won't. Replicant just a little bit too high of the dragon on that second time round, but it's okay because the laser is gonna get the pick, and Rafa once again starts with the first point. So what will Replicant's choice be here? It's to go back to what worked last time around, which was the Hydra Phoenix combination, and is going to commit straight to that rush, and Rafa is going to take 390 damage and already down to half health. And you hate to see stuff like that come around. Replicant barely taking any damage here whatsoever, is not having anything of Rafa anymore in this match. The Hydra is such an effective arm against a character like Lola, and already Rafa has dipped into critical and is going to get grabbed as well. I think they got a little bit of damage onto Replicant, if that. It's a near perfect for Replicant, and it just goes to show Rafa just doesn't seem to have an answer for the Hydra whatsoever, and is thinking about sticking with the Popper Dragon. They're going to switch out the Dragon. They're going to go double Chuck. Yep, they're going to go double Fun Chuck. So, going to go for the stuns and hope for the best. So, two different ways of attacking with the Chucks. They're going to see if they can punch through, but the Phoenix is going to catch them before they can commit. And that's the last thing Rafa needed. Replicant going to fire with the rush, but also gets cut out by the Fun Chuck. So, fair exchange for the pair of them. They'll have to do it the hard way. Both dancing around that center area. Nobody wants to take the initiative, but finally Replicant takes the center stage and hits on in with the usual combination of the charged up Hydra and the Phoenix. Rafa throwing chucks for days, but none of them are really finding their mark at the moment. They're just either bouncing off the shield or being hit by the Hydra. Rush is going to come out from Rafa again, and Replicant is going to lose the arm on the left, and the arm on the right isn't doing any better, but finally does fade away. But again, blocked most of it out, so Rafa still has to throw out a fair ton of damage. And weak on the right hand side yet again. Rafa just trying to keep that pressure alive on Replicant. And ironically enough, I think the Phoenix was the one that caught Rafa. I think Rafa thought they got away with it, but the Phoenix hit them off of the screen. And Replicant having to just take the better part of that. 200 odd damage in the end. But Rafa again with another rush ready. That's how quick they've been throwing out with these chucks. They know they need to win this point to keep this set alive. And so far they're doing exactly that. One more punch is all they're looking for with 10 seconds to go. Maybe just take the health lead at this point. But the chuck will hit. And we are going to see our second match free of the stream. It's one apiece. Well, you love to see stuff like this happen, and they are as close as you can have it. So, 1-1 is the score. Rafa not giving up without a fight. The double Fun Chuck was an inspired decision, and it totally worked. You saw how often Rafa was flinging out. Rafa was just not caring about blocking in the slightest. They were committing to throwing out chucks every other second. And every time Replicant tried to get in a position to at least stop that, they were still taking the chucks to the face. An interesting strategy from Rafa, but hey, it worked, and it's gotten them a point, and straight back into this set. We're just going to quickly report, whilst we wait for the next match to happen, that the underground bracket has been having some matches. Nay has beaten Stone Ant 2-1, so Stone Ant trying their best to get into round 2 in the underground bracket, but unfortunately it's not going to happen. But they've done very well to at least score a point against Nay, so we'll take that, but they will be out from there. So it'll be Coslina versus Nay, Eloy versus Alimento. The other two underground matches that have finished, Penzo has knocked out Spikia 2-0, so Spike is out after a very amazing match with Eloy, and so is Yoshi Bowser, beaten 2-0 by Okrim. So, as we move on up, we are going to see Buster Beach come back, but crucially, no longer a Lollipop Ditto. We're going to see Kid Cobra making a return with that Popper and Burchuck on the left-hand side of the screen for Rafa. Replicant, not really going to change anything, keeps with the Hydra and the Phoenix. Hydra will still very much work against Cobra, and especially with the fact that both are firearms, you want to not allow Kid Cobra to start sliding around all over the place, especially with the fact that these arms are a little bit bigger. So that popper does become a little bit more of a problem here, and to be fair, so too does the Birdchuck, which Replicant, well, they didn't do well with the Funchuck variety, and that is how quick the popper is. Right place, right time. Popper just immediately floored Replicant, not allowing them to get any kind of leverage on with that rush. Here is the freeze. Tried to go for a little poke, goes for the rush. Actually does get the damage in. 270 puts Rafa right back in control of the set. Lands another Birdchuck hit. Grab is going to get punted through by Replicant, not being allowed to get grabbed this time around. Hydra just about blocked out by the Birdchuck. Rafa on the lower end of this. Replicant does have the high ground somewhat. Both, well, I say both with rush, not really. Replicant has the rush and another grab. This should be going their way. Both go for the grab, but it's going to be Replicant who gets the better of it. Bouncing up higher. Never try and challenge Lolopop in a grab-off competition, because Lola will fire off their grab so high up that it's going to be theirs to take. So, Replicant has rush in the pocket. Going to come in with Roaster and a Phoenix. We're going to drop the Hydra this time around. Rafa going to stick with the Pop and the Birdchuck. So we'll see how this plays out. Not going to be able to stop Replicant's rush this time around. 325, exactly the start that Replicant needs. Birdchuck not going to hit anyone just yet. And just getting stopped at the last possible second there. And Replicant is on a roll now, utilizing the use of the power that the Roaster can bring to the table. Rafa does have rush, but is already in critical, and Replicant has such a massive health lead that the Phoenix is going to land again. Grab is finally going to connect, but Replicant has already gotten such a high amount of health, and one final little poke is all that it's going to take. It was never in any doubt in that match that Rep was going to take it, and that's exactly what is going to happen. Replicant is going to knock Rafa into the underground bracket with a 2-1 set, but that third match went so quickly. So, Replicant into top 3 they go. Congratulations to them. You love to see that kind of thing happen, but for Rafa, they're going to have to try and fight it out yet again down there. But it's not over for them. It's not over for them by a long shot. So, we now move onwards to our second semi-final match, and that semi-final match will be reigning champion Rifa to take on Yam. Now, if stats could tell you, everything, well, it'll tell you that this is going to be a very hard fight for Yam to win. Yam has never won the Challenge Cup. Has came second twice, but has never won it. Rifa, on the other hand, well, yeah, well, they've won it 11 times, and they are the reigning champion, and they are reigning champion for a reason. So, we're going to see how this one plays out, but Yam has got it all to do if they want to throw the form book out the window. But that's not to say they can't do it, but it's certainly going to be a it's going to be a hard challenge for them. But then again, it's Rifa. It's going to be a hard challenge no matter what happens. So we are going to queue ourselves in. It looks like they are both ready and waiting to go. So hopefully we have ourselves a good time. In the midst of all this, we have got word that Alimento has knocked out Aloria. Aloria is out. Alimento is actually going to knock them out. And it'll be Okun versus Alimento in the Underground Round 3 bracket. Meanwhile, up here is where it's at. Rifa on the left as Ninjara. Yam on the right as Minmin. We've seen these two face off plenty of times beforehand. Rifa coming in with the Tri-Blast and the Ice Dragon, immediately hitting Minmin before they can even get started. And the chain begins, but does finally get buffeted by the Phoenix and the Parasol. DNA Lab is always a good place for any kind of a curved arm, but it's also very good for Rifa and that Dragon because it's a very big stage in and of itself. And it gives Riffa plenty of distance to get that dragon up to speed and start getting those chills up as well. And especially knowing full well that Yam is coming in with that dragon arm. The Phoenix has the bigger hitbox, does actually run down Riffa, which you like to see. They still got a fair ways to go here if they want to book any kind of a further advantage here. Trades. There was a little bit of a trade there, but it ended off better for Yam since they got the hit with the charged up Phoenix, which just immediately floored Riffa. But they are going to lose that dragon arm as a result, thanks to the hit from the cold charged up dragon. And Ninjara's ability, if you haven't guessed already, is when they are hit with their shield up, they'll immediately teleport to either the left or the right, or to the front if you're feeling extra spicy. And so far, with 20 seconds left on the clock, it is all Riffa at this point in time. Both do have rush available, but Yam probably will not go for the rush anytime soon, and they certainly won't in this point, since that is going to be a KO for Riffa, the reigning champion, starting as he means to go on. Let's see what Yam is going to do. He tries to immediately charge up the arm, but Riffa straight away with the dragon knows full well that they are not going to allow them to do so. Yam is going to hit with the rush, but unfortunately it's a little awkward. 170 damage. It's still better than nothing, but certainly could have been better for Yam there. Riffa now with a rush of their own, just going to bide their time. They've got that Tri-Blast on the side to just keep Yam at bay, especially with how mobile Min Min ends up being. And that's going to be a beautiful little juggle for Riffa. And Yam already past the halfway mark, and this is going to be a fair ways back into this match for Yam. Riffa just hides on back behind that tube and then comes back into the offensive. Realize they have Yam pinned in a not such a great place. They're fighting their way back though. Gets the Phoenix charged up, and Riffa, well, they've still got a fair amount of health as a lead, but Yam has closed the distance and is trying to back Riffa into a corner of their own. Went for the grab, Riffa gonna slide out, but look how much Yam is not allowing them to really get any kind of go for, and unfortunately the rush juggle is not gonna happen this time around. The Phoenix, I think, caught Riffa just a little bit, but it's also given Riffa a rush of their own, and well, Yam knows that they are in KO range if Riffa does decide to commit. 20 seconds left on the clock. Crucially, Yam has a health lead. Only by, not by much, just cannot afford to get hit by anything here. Even a grab, I think, might swing it against them. They are going to get caught by a chill, and that rush is going to KO. And Yam is going to concede a 2-0 there. And it's going to be Riffa taking the lead by a 1-0. Well, that was incredibly close towards the end there. I think Yam realized that they'd backed themselves right into the corner. The second Riffa got the chill, they knew it was either going to be the grab or it was going to be the rush. It was almost like checkmate at that point. There was nothing Yam could have done. And Riffa is going to be one match away from going into winner's final yet again. But we'll see if they can make it. We'll see if Yam can do anything about it. And it's going to be Tri-Blast Ice Dragon again versus that Phoenix and Brella. So pretty much nobody really changing up much. It's pretty much what they're used to. If you've been fighting in these kind of competitions and these tournaments for this long, you know what your go-to arms are. You know what your go-to characters are. And that's essentially how it goes. Gonna cause a little bit of a self-destruct there, and it's always important to note that if the Tri-Bolts are charged, if you can at least disarm them, it will cause a self-destruct, which is why you see Riffa get buffeted every now and then. Because yeah, it's crucial that Yam can get those disarms when they can. Does get the Phoenix up. Temple Grounds, kind of like DNA Labs, where they have the pillars up around, but it's a little bit more. It's not as big as DNA Lab. Both with Rush ready to go. Riffa doing their usual dance at the bottom of the steps. Catches another good time grab. Thought about going for the rush, but it's going to hold off for the time being. It gets a little bit of buffet from the Parasol. And actually, well, they got an initial chip on the rush. But Yam managing to block out the rest of it. Which is exactly what they need to do. And Riffa is not going to fall foul to any of that. In fact, they get a punish grab just just for bonus points at this point in time. They only need one more hit. They've got 15 seconds left on the clock. They have a health lead. They know that this point is pretty much theirs. Grab is going to get punched through. There's nothing Yam can do at this point apart from just throw out punches and try to charge up their rush where they can. Grab will finally connect, and that is the KO with 1 second left on the clock. Riffa 1 point away from advancing to the winner's final. Yam going to commit to the roaster with that Phoenix this time round. And it's going to be Tri-Blast and Ice Dragon. We'll see if Yam can put themselves on the scoreboard here. It's going to be another grab from Riffa. That keeps Yam from being allowed to have that big bird up and charged. The bolt. It's unfortunate. It's just like Yam wants to try and play a little bit more aggressively, but the Tri-Blast just immediately stops them from doing so because it essentially just catches them out every time. And that's going to be another attempt to juggle. Not this time for Riffa though. Look how close Riffa was. Like Riffa was baiting out like a grab attempt from Yam there. And actually Yam is going to get a rush hit. 265. Gets a chance to charge up the Phoenix. And now I'm going to see if they can keep Riffa in this corner. But Riffa, you can already see, just trying to worm their way out. And every single time they go to do so, they finally do so now. Much closer towards the top of the steps, which is where they want to be. 40 seconds on the clock. Riffa still only just above the halfway mark. Yam obviously in critical and in KO range if Riffa wants to go for it. But yep, here it comes. And that is going to connect. And that is going to be a very quick 2-0 for Riffa yet again. Proving why he is the reigning champion. Looking to try and win their 12th title in this competition. Can anyone stop him? Well, I guess we're going to find out very soon, as it will be Riffa versus Replicant in winners final. And that will be coming to you in just a moment. In the meantime, whilst we wait, we'll quickly give you an update as to what is going on in the underground bracket. I can tell you that Cosalina has beaten Nair 2 points to 0. So that's all of our underground round 2 matches done and dusted. So in underground round 3, it is Penzo versus Cosalina. The winner of that will take on Yam. And Aquim versus Alimento has finished. And Alimento has taken out Aquim by 2 points to 0. So Alimento having a very quiet series down in the underground bracket. Having lost to Penzo 2-0, they've now beaten Aloria and Okrim by 2 points to 0. So Alimento rising to the occasion down there. And on my notepad, for whatever reason, I do not have Alimento on here whatsoever, which surprises me because I honestly thought I had. Has Alimento? I don't think Alimento has placed top 3 before. No, Alimento has not placed top 3 in the Challenge Cup either. I do apologise, for some reason that was just not on there at all. But they're staking a claim for it, but they're going to have to beat Rafa if they want to progress any further, so that's going to be a very hard fight for them as well. Remember that Underground Round 4 is technically Underground Quarterfinals, because Round 5 will be semis and then Round 6 is the Underground Final. So we'll see how that all plays out down there. But yeah, in the meantime, back on the surface, back in Winners Final. This will be our very first... This will be our very first best of 5 of the stream. Winners Final, Underground Final, and the Grands themselves will all be best of 5. So we'll see how this all plays out. Replicant has won this twice. Riffa, naturally, has won this 11 times. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if Replicant can shake things up a little bit here. On the official in-game dashboard, Riffa and Replicant have been trading the top position each and every week. If you keep an eye on my Twitter, you'll see the updates of those go up every Monday. So we'll see if Replicant can cause another shake-up here today. Riffa coming in with that Tri-Blast and Ice Dragon, which he has been using pretty much all day so far. Rep with the popper. Also coming in with the parabola this time round. So we're going to see the electric version of the parasol. Operates a little bit differently, as you can see, but at the same time, if it hits you, you will know it. It does act as a mini shield in the process. And Replicant is able to punch through with the quickness of this popper. It's certainly working better against the dragon than a few other arms have been doing. Riffa coming in with the rush, but Rep is going to get the read on it. And so far, Mausoleum is swinging towards Replicant, although Riffa does now have the health lead. And arm pressure just keeping up and does break through in the end. Rep does have rush available, but I don't think they'll want to use it anytime soon. They'll probably wait until Riffa is a little bit closer to KO, knowing full well that they are now in critical condition. And the popper is actually landing through a little bit better here. Dragon gonna bounce off the shield as Lola just waddles away, because that's what she do with this shield. And again, lands before the dragon can really do anything. Riffa knows full well that they are in KO range here, and especially now, this is getting very dangerous for them. Both will go for the rush, but it was a bad decision for Riffa. The dragon was already out and hadn't even came back before the bolts could even fling on through, and Lola had the advantage. Replicant will take the initial point here. Riffa gonna stick with the dragon despite it all. Clearly thinks that they can make this work, but Replicant starting off beautiful here. The popper coming through not once but twice. Just sending Riffa a little bit further, and the parabola gets a charged hit. You like to see that actually play out, but again, Replicant wasn't quite able to take full advantage of it. I think it surprised them just as much as it surprised Riffa. And so far, the dragon is just being denied every kind of chance to land any kind of hit, let alone get a chilled charge up. Riffa already passed the halfway mark. Replicant has barely even been scratched. The dragon does actually clip, but the rush is not going to be able to connect, and Replicant gets away. Arm weak on the left-hand side, though. Should fade away in time. Again, another self-destruct on the side of Riffa. Finally starting to turn the tables in this match, and another chilled hit just slows Replicant down a little bit more. But they are also in KO range. But Riffa also got rushed very close to them. But the parabola is going to hit. It hits for 175. It is not the right angle that Replicant was hoping for there. Riffa is not going to get anything with their rush either. 25 seconds on the clock. This could still go either way here. Replicant knew that Riffa would probably try and go for something there. Arm weak on the left-hand side. 15 seconds left on the clock. Replicant needs to just hang on here, knowing full well that if Replicant has to do all the work, is going to get a clip. They're on very identical health here. I think Riffa might have the lead and gets the KO in the end with 4 seconds left on the clock. And Replicant can't take the lead in this winner's final just yet. It's Riffa who has tied this up. As they both start again, Replicant gonna now come in with the roaster alongside that parabola. And Riffa again, not switching anything, gonna keep with the dragon, gonna keep with the tri-blast. Replicant comes for the rush and does manage to get a punch, but seriously not much damage in that attack at all. Which means it's time to see what Riffa can do with their rush. We'll see if they decide to hold on to it or if they use it relatively soon, knowing full well that if the dragon does hit, it's a lot of damage that does go down if the juggle is correct. And so far though, Replicant is getting a chance to charge their rush up bit by bit. It will start to come up now, and you can see how quickly that changes. 360, Replicant on the cusp of critical. And this is not going well for Rep here. They took the initiative by winning the first point, but Riffa has came straight back at them and is not playing around in the slightest. Replicant trying to keep the center ground, trying to bait Riffa into a moment, and finally does catch in with a rush of their own. 370. Turns it on its head, but they are still in critical, but that's exactly what they needed. Shocks on through with the parabola, gets a grab combination as a result, hits the roaster hit as well. They're looking for one more tap, and this could get taken away from Riffa, and it does. Riffa loses it right at the end. Great job from Replicant to keep that momentum going. The parabola in the end was Riffa's demise, and Replicant is going to take the initiative in this best of 5. They lead by 1 point to 0. Well, you love to see stuff like that happen. It was great work from the pair of them. Replicant took the initiative. Riffa was not having any of it and looked like they were going to take that second point as well. But Replicant somehow managed to hang on in there. The Parabola Shock was absolutely crucial, and from there, Replicant hit every other hit. And, well, Riffa's got to do it all again if they want to try and put themselves into grand finals. Tri-Blast, Ice Dragon, not going to change a thing. Replicant brings back the popper for the Parabola as we enter Temple Grounds. Gone is the no corner approach, because now we've got the corners back. We've also got those pillars to dance around as well, as you see Riffa immediately take cover behind one of them for a moment. It's going to get popped by the, well, popper. That was not intentional, believe me. And the Ice Dragon is going to cancel out Replicant's push here. Riffa a little bit more at home on this stage. Parabola is going to try and almost force a self-destruct, but not quite this time round, and will block out the rest of Replicant's rush. Dragon not going to get a chance to fire off the laser. Finally does so, and you notice that every time Replicant goes for a commitment, if the Dragon so much as at least taps Lola, they immediately flinch and just lose that train of thought completely. Obviously you don't get that if you're a heavyweight character. This is why you should play Mechanica. Anyway, Riffa is going to get themselves knocked down by another attempt, and this could be a juggle and a half. It is a juggle. Riffa is going to hit the deck before Replicant could fire off on the second one. And whilst they have put themselves back into contention, it's still a very dangerous play here, knowing full well that one more tap is all Riffa is looking for, and the Dragon is going to get exactly that. So Riffa will take the initiative in this point. But naturally it isn't over yet. Replicant gonna come in with the roaster, and now this is interesting. Riffa does finally drop the Dragon and comes in with a slam. Not gonna find anything with that rush attempt. Tried to go for it very early, but Replicant had it measured. So we'll see how this plays out, and so far self-destruct is gonna catch Riffa, and Arm Weak on the left hand side cannot allow any more pressure to come onto that side of the field. The Parabola just about causing Riffa to move around a little bit more, but like I said, Ninja is a very mobile character in and of itself, and obviously that teleport does give them that little bit of unpredictability, but again, caught out by the shock factor of the Parabola. Replicant and Riffa both with a rush available, both on similar health here, so it really is going to be the case of who gets the better of these rush exchanges when they do eventually happen. Grab, you're going to get punched through by the Parabola. Replicant just keeping their distance at the moment, causes another self-destruct. It's giving Riffa more work to do here. Every time they seem to get themselves into a position where they fling in with the charged up bolt, Replicant knows it's coming and either manages to shield it or forces it to detonate before it can even leave Replicant's field of vision. And that's going to be a rush that will connect this time around. 350, Riffa in critical. One more punch or a grab will likely seal it. And in fact, it's a self-destruct. Even better for Replicant. And it ties this point up 1 apiece. Replicant could take a 2-0 lead here if things go their way. Grab immediately coming out from Riffa. Tri-Blast and Slam still in the talking field, and Replicant a little too high up to do anything about that rush attempt this time round. They'd overcommitted, and Riffa will punish it. But can they bring this back yet again? Grab not going to be anywhere close. Going to keep that high ground just a little bit more. Grab is going to get punched through by the Slam. And suddenly Riffa is turning this around almost immediately and finally punches through, but the roaster can't find the hit that Replicant was looking for. Will commit to the rush, but Riffa almost dodging it for the most part, but finally gets caught for 320. Crucially, Riffa does have rush and Replicant is in KO range, so this could still very much hurt Replicant here. This advantage is all Riffa. Gonna get caught by a little poke for the from the roaster, and Replicant will block out the remainder of that rush. So now it comes back onto the other foot. Got caught by the Parabola, but Replicant was too far away to properly punish. Now, Replicant has 30 seconds to charge up a rush, which I think they will do, providing they do not get caught by anything here. They are going to get caught by a bolt, but crucially they have rush available. Riffa is looking for 1 or 2 hits, maybe a grab, and at least a timeout with 15 seconds left on the clock. Replicant knows they have all the work to do. They have to fling it with the rush now. They do hit with the rush. Beautiful from Replicant. Patiently played, waited their moment and zoomed in. Caught them with the rush. Caught Riffer napping, and that is a 2-0 lead in winners final. The reigning champion is under a lot of pressure here, and they could be going down to the underground final and have to fight a little, just one match too many here. They're both going to immediately jump straight back in. It looks like it's going to be Temple Grounds. Riffer not happy with how that went. Replicant knows that they are a match away from sending the champ into the underground bracket. Yes, they'll still be in top 3, but it's crucial for Replicant to really throw that momentum wide open. Riffer gonna start with a grab. Not happy with how that went. Gonna switch back to that Ice Dragon. Clearly thought the slams was not quite working as best as they'd like to. And Replicant, well, they're not gonna change anything now. Roaster and Parabola does seem to be the way they want to play this. But Riffer with this dragon has so much more range at their disposal, and you can tell Riffer already has rush charge and is already getting back into the swing of things. They are not messing around. They do not want Replicant to dethrone them anytime soon. Arm weak on the left hand side, and look at the health lead. Yes, it can all change, but it all depends on how this plays out, and it's a beautiful catch from Riffer. What a grab that was. Got the call absolutely spot on, and Riffer's pretty much going to hold on to this rush and probably take this into the next round. Goes for the grab, not going to happen. Replicant will punch through it, but they've got a mountain to scale here if they want to try and get any kind of semblance back into this match. At the very least, they are still charging that rush, so they won't be too far behind on that department going in to the second point, and actually does get a grab. And Riffer still above 75%. I still think this is not going to be a Replicant's match in the slightest. Ice Dragon is finally going to go through, and Riffer finally gets the point that they were looking for. So let's see if they can take it this time round. Replicant switches out the Roaster for the Popper. Clearly going to see if they can outspeed that dragon again, but unfortunately they overcommitted, and Riffer is going to fire on in with a rush. Sends Replicant past the 75%, although having said that, Rep does have rush available here, so you never know how this could still play out. Going to get tapped once again, but Riffer needs to be a little bit more cautious here. That Popper is starting to get a little bit more frustrating, does actually catch them and sends them right down. And you just know that Replicant is just biding their time, waiting for Riffer to commit to something. That's not going to go well for them, and that's exactly what happened. 305. It's a shame they couldn't get the juggle, because that could have been so much more, but look at how quickly that's turned around. Riffer in critical condition just from that one error. Went for the grab when that was exactly what Replicant was waiting for, and is going to shield out Riffer's rush attempt in the process. It was beautifully played, but can they follow this through and tie this up with another point and put themselves in contention for a grand final appearance so quickly? And they are going to, because the Parabola is going to punch on through. It's 1 point apiece, but crucially, if Replicant wins this point, the reigning champ is in the underground bracket. It's as simple as that. It's a must win for the champ. They are going to get a good start with the Ice Dragon pick again. And Replicant is confident now that they can absolutely outspeed this dragon. But we'll see what happens. The last pill, I think, goes down. And they are going to get caught by the rush, which is not what they wanted. 340 damage. Riffer barely a scratch on them. And so far, Riffer finally now has an answer for this combination. Gonna get caught by one pop, just about avoids the other. And Replicant says, no more of that, I'm gonna grab you now. Gonna try and keep Riffer into that corner, see if they can predict where they're gonna go and what they're gonna commit to. That is not what they wanted. Another chill sends Replicant down into critical. And you see how much pressure that umbrella puts Riffer under. Every single time they double on back, the umbrella is still following on through. And another shock! And Replicant could not get the punish on that. Finally commits to the rush, but it's too late in that point of view. Finally does get 175. Keeps them in this match, but Riffer now has KO chance here with the rush on their side. Dragon is going to come through. Gets the knockback. Replicant just about gets shielded up in time. But one more hit will do it. Just one lick from that Dragon will send it over into a fourth match. What can happen from here? 13 seconds left on the clock. I don't think Replicant will charge rush in time. And there it is. Rifa is going to finally score a point there. It's 2-1 in winners final. Oh, that was as close as you want to have it. It just slipped away from Replicant there. They had the moment. They had the moment right there and then. It just slipped from them. They got the shock, but they'd already... Oh, I can't believe they weren't in position to get the rush, because that would have been a great moment for Replicant to put a stranglehold up on that. But as a result, it is going to go into match number 4 here between these two. Rifa does not want to do this the hard way. They are wanting so badly to just get into the grand finals and just rest there for a little while. Replicant determined to try and see this through, to try and send the champ down into the underground bracket. Same arms as usual. Replicant going to start with the roast this time around as we head to Mausoleum. Finally a break from Temple Grounds. No pillars in the way this time, just one arena. No places to hide. And you can see Replicant already getting into their bouncy shenanigans. Remember that Rifa has to go against 2 of Replicant's stage choices here if they do win. So this is already the first one. The second one could be here if Rifa maintains this start, but we're going to see how this plays out. Replicant trying to play a little bit more aggressively, but Rifa is having none of that. Goes for the grab. Replicant going to bounce on over, because that's just what Lola does. The roast is always an interesting choice, just because of that unguided system. It does the damage, but so far Rifa is not allowing that arm to punch on through. The Dragon, at the very least, is stopping it from doing its business. The Dragon actually coming out to finally do some damage of their own, and the Blaster just keeping Lola at bay at the moment. You just notice that Replicant is in critical. Rifa has barely broken a sweat in this set, and with 30 seconds to go, it already looks like it's going to be Replicant's uphill battle from start to finish. Rifa just looking for one more hit. 20 seconds left on the clock. I'm surprised that this match has not ended yet. Replicant's not allowing Rifa to get the KO and finally gets it. And Rifa is looking for that reverse sweep. They only need one more point to take it to match number 5. Shock Horror, the first winners final match, goes to match 5. That's the trend that we've been seeing a little bit recently, but you'll love to see it anyway as a spectator and as a caster. And Rifa starting off strong yet again, goes for the rush, but Replicant gonna avoid it this time around, and beautiful counter. Couldn't get the second juggle, but 305 is still a lot of damage this early on in the point. But Replicant needs to not fall into the same trap as they did last time round, and allow Rifa to pick up these chain hits. They're consistently flinging on through with the blast, and Replicant has just allowed Rifa straight back into this point. The Dragon is not going to hit this time round. Arm weak on the left hand side, and the trampoline is out as well. Now this is going to make things a little bit more easier for Rifa here, because the Dragon now is practically uncontested. Rush is going to come out. It does connect. It does KO. And that is 2-2, and well, the final point is going to come up. Well. It's 2-2 in winners final. Replicant had a 2-0 lead in this set, and the reigning champion has come from 2-0 down to now be on the cusp of a reverse sweep. What a way to book their ticket into grand final if they can master this, but well, it's not over until it's over. Rifa is already ready to go. Replicant is thinking about how they want to play this. It's going to be sparring ring is going to be the choice here. So something very different. We went from a nice spherical arena to a full-on boxed-in arena. And what is Replicant's thoughts coming into this? Gonna stick with that. Popper gonna bring in a Coolerang now to try and get around, but well, River's not gonna change up anything. The Blast and the Dragon has been working beautifully for them, so it's gonna be all down to how many hits this Popper can follow on through with, and River just blocking for dear life whilst they wait for the chill to die down, and finally starts connecting with a little 1-2 combo of their own. Notice how springy Replicant is. They're trying to be as hard to hit as possible. River, it's why they bring the bolt in the first place, but finally going to get knocked back down. Both with Rush available to go, and another Popper hit. Solid work from Replicant here, keeping this pressure absolutely alive, and River is having a little bit harder time to get into the swing of things. Consistently boxed in, and Replicant keeping that center stage, not allowing River the chance at anything. One more hit is all Replicant is looking for, and they will take the initiative in this match, and does so. Another double chain hit, and this is absolutely Replicant's element here. One more point, both with a rush in hand. What is going to be the decision here? River going to stick with the Blast and the Dragon. They feel like they can make this work, but it's certainly proven to be a lot harder than in the previous couple matches. Finally lands a chill hit of their own and baits in with the grab. Nicely done indeed. Neither of them wanted to utilize their rushes just yet. Both hanging on for the time being. Just trying to get a feel for where Replicant is going to place next. The Blasts are coming down and catching River off guard a little bit, and it's shaking their momentum. And Popper is going to come through. Who's going to get the better of it? It's going to be Replicant, who juggles on up. I think it's 295 on that. Let's put Replicant back into the driver's seat. River, unfortunately, riffing on that attempt. Does catch through with the Tri-Blast, so keeps the health pretty much level as we enter the final minute of this match. How is this going to play out? Grab attempt, I think, just about thwarted. Replicant on the cusp of critical. River not too far away themselves, so it's really anyone's game. River has Rush ready to go. Popper just to the right of him. Needs to be so cautious. They know a Popper hit could absolutely ruin their day. Grab, not gonna connect on this occasion. Replicant is in critical. They need to score a couple more hits here if they want to put River under a significant amount of pressure. Does get a little tap. They do have River in KO range here, and the Coolerang hits and knocks them down. Both on similar health here with 10 seconds left on the clock. River knows they have to hit something here, otherwise it's over. Rush comes out. They are going to get away with all of that. 2 seconds left on the clock. River will go for it. They got hit! They got hit! No, they got hit! Replicant's going to win it! Replicant wins it out with a last second Coolerang hit. River thought they had that. River thought they had that by activating Rush to stall out Replicant, but you didn't need to attack. You just didn't need to. And Replicant knocks the reigning champion down into the Underground Final and books their ticket into the Grand Finals. How close do you want your winner's final to be? Replicant edges out right at the last. River probably looked at them and went, look, if I activate Rush, if I hit you, brilliant. Bonus points for me. If I don't hit you, it's fine, because there's no way you're going to be in a position to be able to hit me. I'm afraid to tell you this, River, but he absolutely was. The Coolerang came round the back door, tapped River up, and yeah, the rest is history. So, how about that? Oh my word. I think it's time for your commentator to have a quick drink. Much better. In the heat of all of that was going on, the underground bracket has been moving along quite nicely. And Kozolina, once again, is not going to make top 3. She isn't going to make top 4 either. Knocked out by Yam 2-0. Kozolina did beat Penzo, but then lost to Yam 2-0. Alimento, like I said, beating Okrum 2-0. But in their round 4 match, they lost to Rafa by 2-0. So 2 clean sweeps in the round 4. So now as we move on to the underground semi-final, it is going to be... Whoa, very nearly lost my microphone. It is going to be Yam to go up against Rafa. Right, just going to get ourselves loaded in. I need to back out of this first, since it's obviously not going to be where I'm going to be, since we're booting on up into our fellow players' lobbies. So, just quickly boot on in here. These two have been fighting for quite a long time now. Rafa looking to book their ticket into the top 3. Yeah, I'm trying to do so for the first time in quite a while, actually. So we'll see how these two play out. Winner of this will make it into top 3 no matter what happens. Rafa's last appearance in top 3 was 2 cups ago. Yam's last appearance in top 3 was 5 cups ago. So you get the general idea. You get the general idea. They've both been here before, and both pretty recently. But as it stands, there's a whole lot to play for. So our our only semi-final is underway, and it is going to be Rafa on the left with the Kid Cobra, and Yam on the right with the Min Min. It's going to be a very big arm to start ourselves up with. The hottest of slaps and the Megawatt. One of the slower arms in the game, but also one of the well, if it does hit you, well, the shock is just massive, as you probably would expect. Yam, meanwhile, with that Phoenix and the Lockjaw, is going to block out the rush attempt from Rafa. This got actually caught in the end, so they will lose the Dragon Arm on the Phoenix. And so far, that slap is absolutely in contention. Just see how massive the Megawatt is as it looms on in. It's such a... it can be quite intimidating at times, especially against the Cobra, since the arm is even bigger. And that grab is going to be massive damage. 175 off the skirt board. Min Min just about stays above the Megawatt. And finally does find a punch and breaks the arm in the process. Unfortunately, there was a trade as well, which benefited Rafa more than anything. Rush. Well, I'll say rush. Grab attempt. Not going to land on this occasion. Gets caught on the side with the slap. And Yam is going to go quickly down in the end. And Rafa gonna take the initiative. Probably not gonna switch anything. No, they do not. Yam, Roaster, Phoenix immediately goes to charge up the Roaster. Finally gets it charged up. It took them a while to do so. And the Watt again managing to find a way through and give a little tap onto Yam's side. And here we go yet again. Yam in that corner, not where they want to be. Slap is going to try and hit on through, and the Watt just kind of just drops in front of Yam. Shield up, no damage at all. Does manage to box out the Roaster at least, but Yam is trying to find their way back into this. Does find a hit with the Roaster, and actually gets a grab in there as well. Rafa not quite expecting that, I don't think. And that's what it comes down to. I probably thought they were thinking that Yam was going to come in with that rush instead. So Yam holding onto it for the time being, and has actually caught Rafa in the hot pocket. The last place you want to be, especially with the Dragon Arm on that Roaster, but that's also the last thing you want to do. It's how hopeless you end up feeling sometimes when you just send the punch in and the Megawatt just goes, I'm gonna punch through that and just keep going. But Yam does hold on for dear life in the end and actually finds a way through, breaks Rafa down and brings this point level. And Rafa now going to play with quite a interesting setup. The light arm of the Popper and the massive arm of the Watt. And look at this already, 360. They're trying to wall Yam in and not give them a chance to breathe here. And in all fairness, it's a very good combination. The Popper is such a quick arm, and it makes up for the fact that the Watt is so slow. So it kind of pings in as a feeder. And if the hit does land, even if it's not charged, the Watt just follows on through, and Yam just does not have an answer for this here. The Phoenix just doesn't go through. The grab is going to end this match in spectacular fashion. And Rafa just dominated that final point in the end and takes the lead in the semi-final. Remember, that this is a best of 3. It's only the finals that are best of 5s. So Rafa just looking for one more win. And could you imagine the prospect that is awaiting us? Remember that the winner of this match will go into the underground final, guarantee themselves a place in top 3, but crucially, they'll be going up against reigning champion and 11-time winner Rafa. And if it's Rafa that goes in there, the last time we commentated their match on stream, it was a little too close. So the prospect there is massive. So we'll see what happens here. Looks like, oh my goodness, we're gonna have our first counter pick stage of the day. Well, at least on the stream anyway. We haven't seen either VoD or Scrapyard yet, but that's about to change because we are gonna have Scrapyard coming up by the looks of it. I'm gonna look forward to that. You always like to see it. But in terms of what Yam needs to do, to be fair, they were doing alright. That second point, you know, they were able to capture that pretty quickly. But yeah, the Popper Watt, they need to really figure out a way to deal with that combination because the Phoenix was being taken down at every point, and Rafa was just getting a free hit with the Popper every other hit as well. So it can be quite a finicky combination, but if anybody can figure it out, it's going to be Yam. They need to find a way of either being able to outbox the Popper, or find a way of being able to get themselves into a position where the Popper can't stop them, and the Watt is already out. And for Min, it looks like it's going to be Phoenix. And the Parasol is going to be the call for Yam. So we're going to see where this ends up playing out. Rafa going to go for the Phoenix. So they're going to pop that pop away for the time being. So both going in with a Phoenix. But their second arms couldn't be any different if it tried. The Parasol versus the Megawatt. And obviously on a stage like Scrapyard, you've got the 2 pillars. You've got such high platforms on the left hand side of your screen there. Well, right in front of us for Rafa. Well, now it's behind you. Rafa moves so quickly, it's hard to really commentate on the background because by the time Rafa's moved, the camera's already been adjusted. Both arms on Yam weak here. They need to be careful of all this pressure that Rafa is putting them under. Gets caught by the Watt. They do have rush available, but Rafa doesn't really care at all. They're just flinging on through with their punches. Finally does have rush ready of their own, but you just see how cautious Yam is playing here. They're just being boxed in and not allowed to have a chance to breathe here. Yafa gets another big time grab. They're just looking for one more poke and they will take this point. Yam is probably not going to try and rush anytime soon. If they can get another hit like that in though, they may choose to go for it. 30 seconds left on the clock. Rafa putting them under so much pressure, and the Watt finally does punch on through. And it's set point here for Rafa if they can find another way through, and with the pillars gone, Rafa brings out the Popper, which Yam just was not able to deal with in the slightest. Back at Buster Beach, Megawatt comes out, punches on through with the rush, 335, exactly what they needed, but they need to get out of that corner ASAP. Rafa trying their best to wall them in there, and instead gets another big 175 on that grab. There's 2 characters you never want to get grabbed by. Well, 3 characters really. And that rush is going to come through again. 360. Rafa takes the high ground and the initiative. They are looking for a couple more hits. And maybe, well, anything now. Literally anything will take it for Rafa at this stage. Yam doing their best to try and dance around this Watt. But it's not happening. The Popper is unrelentless. Sorry. Unrelentless? You get the general idea. You knew what word I was going for. And Rafa is going to win this 2-0. And with that, Yam is going to miss out on top 3, I'm afraid. So down they go. They will finish in 4th place, but a fight in 4th nonetheless. They've done so well, and yet again, they've beaten Kozlina. Every time I see Yam go up against Kozlina, there used to be a point where they would trade matches, but now it seems to be Yam beats Kozlina every time as of late. So that rivalry is very much ongoing, but we're going to see if Coslin can pull it back next time around. I believe in you. I know you can do it. But in the meantime, we are going to gear ourselves up for our underground final. And this is going to be a treat. It's going to be Rafa versus Riffa. An individual who has only won this championship once, all the way back on the second cup, versus 11-time winner, 22-time finalist, and reigning champion Riffa. This is going to be a match and a half. Who's going to win? No idea. If it's anything like the last encounter that we saw on stream between these two, and that, by the way, was a best of 3, this should be an entertaining best of 5 for quite some time. So, who's ready for this? Because I most certainly am. Well, Riffa's ready. Had to back out just a little bit. Looks like we'll be starting ourselves on Buster Beach. Who are you cheering for in the chat? Let me know, because this is going to be great. This is going to be amazing. We still go even. Okay, Coslina, that's fair. And giving a good shout out to everyone who's coming by in the chat. A lot of people who are no longer taking part in the tournament. It's nice to see you still lingering on in, having a watch and cheering on in. And Coslina, like I said, I believe in you. I know you can beat them on the next tournament. You got this. And if that's not enough motivation, Malieve is here to give you the motivation too. Because Malieve is awesome, and, you know, that's what Malieve does. Anyway, we are going to move on to our underground final match. Rafa on the left as Kid Cobra, Riffa on the right as Ninjara. Strap yourselves in. This could be a very long and nervy best of 5 match. Here we go. Papa and Birchup versus Triblast and Ice Dragon. We've pretty, like I said, been seeing Riffa use that setup so much throughout this tournament today. And let's kick things off with a quick grab. They're in full well. They cannot afford to allow that Popper to outspeed that Dragon. You see the Dragon coming out, but the Popper is going to force Riffa into no man's land. Don't want to be in that hot pocket. You see how aggressive Rafa is trying to play straight up out the get-go. And already the Popper finding a way through, even with that shield and that ability to just side dash at will. Riffa is getting put under a fair amount of heat with that Popper, but is at least managing to maintain a health lead here, getting Rafa on the cusp of critical. Rush would certainly do it, but I don't think they want to use Rush anytime soon. They just want to keep this going as quickly as they can. Rafa goes for the Rush, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to get anything from it, because unfortunately they hit the deck just a little too quick. Popper is going to hit and actually keep themselves in the match, but I think that's not going to happen any further. I think it was the Dragon that, yeah, it was again. This is the Dragon that just gets a little lick of paint. And Riffa is going to keep their rush and the advantage into the second point and immediately goes for it. And, yep, Rafa going to caught out. I thought they had enough time to get the shield up, but they did not. 310 damage. Finally does fire on through, puts the Ninja into the corner, but they're not going to stay there for too long. Popper catches them before they hit the deck, and actually, oh no, this is not what you want to allow Riffa to do. Rafa is just absolutely dominating here. Tries to go for the juggle, but can't get it. Gets a clip anyway, 130, and Rafa has just turned this match on its head. Ninjara just can't get out of the corner. The hottest of pockets has claimed the reigning champion. An absolute masterclass from Rafa there. And, well, that's all tied up in this first point. And Riffa is not gonna want to get caught in that again anytime soon. Finally fires on in with a quick little 1-2 combo. And Rafa, well, Rafa's riding on a lot of momentum here, but Riffa is determined to just stop that ASAP. And just look how quick. Rafa's moving so fast that they're moving back into the Dragon Laser. You just hate to see that happen. Riffa tried to go for the rush, but that's not going to happen on this occasion either. They're both going for the rushes as they're both hitting the floor, which just goes to show you just the difference. The difference, that little bit of time it makes sometimes. And Riffa, not again, Riffa. You're back in a position where you really don't want to be. Arm is down. That's going to be a free grab for Rafa. Actually inadvertently punches Riffa back up into the top section of the stage. Another little hit from the Burchuk, but it's allowed Riffa to get a little bit of chance to breathe here. Both Rift Rush available, and the shield pressure. Well, Rafa is in trouble, but does manage to get another pick with the popper. Here comes the rush, and it's actually going to get Riffa out. Riffa hesitated a little bit, tried to go to the side, and actually got caught there, but the dragon again is going to save their bacon, and Ninjara is going to take the initiative. Riffa takes the lead by 1-0. How many times am I going to get Riffa and Rafa wrong in this set? It's so easy to do. But so far, it's still anyone's game. It was just a shame that that grab ended up being a little bit of a help for Riffa in the end. It put them right back away from the hot pocket, so Rafa kind of lost that momentum, but that was very nearly massive. Well, it was certainly a big warning sign for Riffa. Rafa is not going to take this sitting down, and actually they've switched arms completely. They've switched to double nade, so all bets are off in how Rafa is going to take this fight now. The dragon is still going to be Riffa's choice, as is that blast, and to be fair, the bolts do help against a mobile character like Kid Cobra, but Rafa is doing their absolute best to try and throw Riffa off, and the rush is going to come out, but Rafa again kind of slide around and not take a single point of damage there. Absolute styling points there from Rafa, who is now going to start taking taking a little bit of control back away from Riffa, who is going to get punished for the double commit. 330 damage into critical you go. The double nade punch is going to put Riffa on 1 HP. The explosion catches them off, and Rafa is going to take the initiative in the second point. So, here we go yet again. Both with a similar level of rush charge up, but with how quick Rafa is throwing out the nades, you feel like it won't be too long before they get a rush right back into contention. But Rafa, with the rush up first, gets a little bit of a pick with that dragon, but Rafa is not letting it hinder them as much anymore. Yes, it is hitting on through, but they've got that kind of like that second wind in them where they are not afraid to just keep moving at all points. But Riffa is going to start predicting it a little bit more. Is getting a little bit more comfortable with coming in with these charged hits. And so far, the dragon finally not getting their mark anymore. But give it time. Riffa will immediately pop back in with another hit in midair as Rafa is going down. And if you just give Rafa that little bit of a chance to move, they'll immediately take it from you. And that's going to be nothing but air for Rafa on that occasion. Riffa definitely had the better of it. As they start their annual dance around, the explosion actually pips Riffa a little bit, but one more punch is all they need, and Riffa now has control over this set yet again. They have rush advantage, Rafa nowhere near, and Rafa's going to now do a little bit of an interesting decision. They'll switch out the double nades into Popper and Burchuk, so going to try and go for the quick pokes again. Try to catch Riffa off guard, but not going to happen on this occasion. Remember that Riffa does have rush available, so they can choose to use it right here and now, but they're not going to catch it this time around. Just the chip damage, nothing more than that. And Rafa actually playing a lot more aggressively here. The Popper Burchuk working out beautifully at the moment, and that's going to be a definite juggle in the air. Beautifully done from Rafa. 285 or 265, 1 and 2 in either case. Riffa is in critical condition, and this onslaught from Rafa is, well, this is going to be massive warning signs for the next set. A grab seals the deal. And this set is tied up 1 apiece. Rafa on absolute point there. Burchuk and Popper was an inspired switch and a half. And that is going to be Rafa's point as a result. Oh, damn. I Okay, I'm back. Alright, so for the second time today we are going to see oh my gosh, that really hurt. We are going to see Scrapyard make an appearance. And remember, this is the Underground Final. This is a best of 5. Oh, that really hurt. Oh, gosh. I'm okay. I'm alright, Luna. Thank you very much for asking. Ooh. Everything's okay. That hurt a little bit too much, but I'm okay. Alright, we are going to continue onwards with our third match of this best of 5. Remember, a place in the grand final is up for grabs, and it's gonna be Burchuk and Coolerang for Rafa going up against the Triblast and the Ice Dragon of Riffa. And once again, we're gonna see those pillars coming into play. Rafa hopefully gonna try and get around it with the Coolerang. It's an interesting choice, but we'll see how it plays out for them. So far, Riffa has the initiative here. Finally gets caught with the Coolerang. Rafa trying to see if they can stall out that a little bit more. Look at how much pressure the Chuck is putting the Ninjawa under. Weak on the side, but finally does fly away. Rafa is taking so much punishment here in this match. Riffa has total control here. Already has Rafa in critical. Has such a massive health lead. Both with rush available, but well, with pillars now gone, Rafa probably is just looking to just try and at least stall out as long as possible, because I think they know this match is absolutely out of their hands. Coolerang not really a solid pick to go up against Ninjara, and I think Rafa knows it. We'll switch back to that popper. We'll keep the Burchuk at the very least. No poles on the side this time round. And to be fair, neither of them have really taken the high ground either. Both are just remaining as close to each other as possible. And oh my word, well, that one exchange that was. That was a play and a half. So Rafa went for the grab, Riffa went for the rush, Rafa with the counter rush, both traded, and Rafa got the better of it, and that's thrown Riffa for an absolute loop here. Rafa's just looking for one more poke, and they will take this match. Somehow the Bolt beat the Chuck, but that will finally take it away from them. What an exchange that was. And a beautiful call from Rafa to rush right after the grab attempt. Really caught Riffa off guard of that, there's no doubt. It just goes to show how clever Rafa is. Riffa does have the rush available to use, both on similar healths, and Rafa not too far behind on the charge. So again, this will be a case of who decides to use rush and when. But you feel like with Riffa, they have control here. They're able to hit with the slap. So you notice that they've brought in the slap and not the dragon. And so far it's working beautifully. Finally, the self-destruct does come out. But look at the health lead. Riffa already has chill. It's going to hit. Both are going to go for the rush. Oh no, and Riffa couldn't hit with it. 95 in the end. It's not what Rafa would have wanted, but it's still at least taking it away from Riffa, which is the most important part. And crucially, Riffa is in critical condition here. Both are nowhere near their rush. Rafa now on the cusp as well. This is anyone's game as we go into 40 seconds to go. Riffa now with the initiative is looking for one more poke. One more hit from anything will do it. The slap doesn't quite land. The Bolt not too far away. Finally, a rush is on the table, and it's on the side of Riffa. Rafa knows this. Hit in with a popper. Riffa comes straight back in. They're just looking for one more point. Rush came straight out. Who's going to land it? It's going to be Rafa. Rafa managed to get a rush up and immediately went for it. Riffa thought they managed to get the air, went up onto the side, went for the rush of their own, but Rafa managed to get it back in time. And Rafa leads. Rafa leads by 2 points to 1. Rafa is leading 2 points to 1 in Underground Final. Riffa absolutely perplexed from that. They've left the lobby. Surely Riffa is not throwing in the towel. Is Riffa going to throw in the towel? This would be a shock and a half if that happens. Remember that this is a best of 5. Rafa does need to win one more point. We're gonna rate on Rafa's decision here. I don't know what is gonna happen here. We're just waiting on communication. But what a moment there that was for Rafa. I honestly thought that Rafa was gonna get the pick on that because I thought they had the height and the advantage with the arm. Somehow Rafa managed to retract quick enough to still manage to poke in, and it's just how it happens. And Rafa is going to be back in, so we are going to continue this match. Rafa not throwing in the towel just yet. They are the reigning champ after all. They are looking, for their 12th Challenge Cup win. Rafa looking for only their 2nd. But it would certainly shake up everything if Rafa is to fall here and now. So this, it's still anyone's game. Remember that. Rafa is 2-1 down, but this is Rafa we're talking about. They were 2-0 down in winners final and managed to tie it back up to 2-2 before losing crucially to Replicant. If you're Replicant and you're watching this go down, I don't know what you're thinking. Like, part of you must be excited because you're seeing these two work to the absolute, to every last millimeter, every little last second in play to try and get the victory, and you're just chilling there, just relaxing for a little bit longer, but knowing full well that whoever comes to you in the grand final is probably going to have some form of confidence on their side, as Rafa looks to get a victory over Rafa in a very, very crucial part of this tournament. It would be massive if Rafa can beat Rafa right now, but we're going to see how this plays out. Popper and Burchuk versus Ice Dragon and Triblast. We saw Rafa get punished hard in this stage earlier when Rafa managed to turn it around with them in the pocket, but so far Rafa is making absolutely sure that does not play out this time around. Finally does get hit by the Burchuk, and look how close these two are fighting against each other. Somehow Rafa could not find a hit with anything there, and so far the momentum is well and truly on Rafa's side. Rafa with rush ready to go. Dragon is not going to hit on this occasion. The bolts finally send Rafa all the way back down into the pocket area, and already just one tap away is all Rafa is looking for to be able to take this down. It's going to be a grab forced out from Rafa. Just came straight up. It's going to be 2 grabs in succession, and Rafa is not slowing down anytime soon. That's going to be another big time rush coming out. 325. That's changed everything, and scores with a popper. Where in the world did that play come from? Rafa just had the sheer audacity to slide it for a grab, went in for another one, went in for the rush, got the popper KO. I don't think anyone expected that, let alone Rafa. Rafa has rush advantage going into this match, but they start on the wrong side of this stage. They know full well they've got it all to do. Arm weak on the right hand side will probably go for the rush right here and now. Does so. 320 damage. Rafa is looking for every little mistake they can do. Rafa is just trying to force Rafa into no man's land. Closing up the distance yet again. Fires in with another popper and a Burchuk. Rafa has seen this before. They're going to go through it again, it seems. Another grab. Sends Rafa down, and they're backing up all the way to the pocket area. You don't want to be there, Rafa. You really don't. Dragon going to come back in. Hitting in from the sky. Rafa has rushed. So too does Rafa. It's going to be once again down to who utilizes it the best. Rafa down into critical. But this is where they were in the previous point when they turned the match completely on its head. Fires on in. Hits with the rush. 295 damage, sends Rafa into critical as well. Crucially, Riffer does still have Rush, but one more tap is going to send the champion out. This is all to play for with 30 seconds left on the clock. All Raffer needs is one more hit. The Rush comes out, but it's not going to land in time. Now it's just a case of who gets the hit first. Dragon's not going to hit. Puppet! Puppet! The champ is out! It's no longer the Riffer Revolution. Raffer is in Grand Final. The reigning champion, the 11-time winner, is out of the Challenge Cup. Wow. Well. I did not expect to see this. It will be Raffer to take on Replicant. In the grand final. The stakes could not be higher. And I'll tell you why they couldn't be higher. Replicant would win this for the 3rd time. They'd only be the 3rd person to have won this 3 times. Behind Riffer and Iceman, I believe. I could be wrong, I'll have to check the stats again. I'm pretty sure there have been other people who have won it at least 3 times before, but in terms of the people who are currently in this competition today, they would certainly join that group of people who have won it more than 3 times. But for Raffer, it would put to bed, well, it would put to bed one of the biggest cup lost streaks for quite some time. The only one who would be better at that would be Maxo, who won the first one, but Raffer's only won once, and that was all the way back in Cup number 2. They would put a massive streak to bed if they won here. But to do that, they're gonna have to beat Replicant in not just 1 set, but 2 best of 5 sets. Because as you can see, Raffer came down from the underground bracket, and Replicant came up well in the winners final. So Replicant hasn't lost a set yet, so This couldn't be bigger if it tried. We get a 3-time winner, or Raffer becomes a 2-time winner in dramatic circumstances. So we wait now for our 2 fighters to get themselves ready. We get a quick drink of water, and if you're not staying hydrated, I suggest you do so. I did say the Raffer match would be a roller coaster of an affair, but now with Riffer not being able to tie Iceman's record, this is anyone's tournament. This is anyone's game. What do you reckon, my friends? Who are you backing? Are you backing Replicant, or are you backing Raffer? In either case, we're going to find out what happens right here, right now. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy this moment. They're both playing a little bit of mind games here. Bit of miscommunication in the chat, but to be fair, it's just how it goes. Friendship is the real winner. That is the correct answer, Malik. It does mean no Ninja in the final. I guess we take those. So, Rafa on the left of your screen coming in with the Kid Cobra. Replicant on the right coming in with the Lola Pop. Serious business now, my friends. Good luck and have fun. We're going to see Phoenix and Popper on the left. We're going to see Hydra and Phoenix on the right. So both coming in with our hot burb. Both coming in with a very interesting pattern. Obviously double fire for Replicant, but that Popper, that crucial fast hitting Popper, we'll see how well it handles in this matchup as the first of our tubes in DNA Lab hit the deck. Both jostling for position. The Hydra obviously going to keep Cobra at bay, just like the Tri-Bolt and Blast did in the Riffer match. But Rafa won't care too much about it, but they have all their work cut out if they want to try and get ahead of Replicant, who has quite the health lead already, it must be said. Both will commit to the rush, both trade, but the Popper gets. Popper is the faster of the two rushes and does poke on through for 200 in the end. It's still a ways to go for Rafa here. Replicant only just gone underneath 75%, so Rafa still has it all to do as they nick into critical condition. Replicant just immediately bounces on back, hits in with another double commit that Rafa can't do anything about. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, there's just the 3 tubes on this side left to play down, and Rafa's actually going to take this opportunity to just take these down now so that they've got more of a vantage point to actually fight with Replicant in the future point. Replicant with rush available will hold on to it as we go into the second point with a nice KO for the Lola. What is Rafa's decision going to be here? We're going to see Pop and we're going to see Burchuck coming out. No switch for Replicant naturally because everything worked as intended. And comes out with the rush. Does ping on through. The Phoenix is what threw Rafa off. 340 damage on their bar. And now Rafa going to see if they can do to Replicant what they did to Riffer, which was just wall Lola in the corner. But no dice on this occasion. Replicant able to just get out of there. Get out of dodge ASAP. Another Burchuck is going to fling on in. Fires on through. Hits with the rush. Does so. 280 damage. Sends Replicant into the other corner. Let's see what Rafa can do from here on out. So far, Replicant has an answer for this. Every single time Rafa goes for the offensive, it's a shield that they're flinging on into. And another rush going to juggle Rafa in the air. Sends Rafa into critical condition. Replicant just above that though. Needs to be a little careful here because Rafa could see this through to the bitter end and actually scores with a massive grab. Turned that on its head in an instant and ties this first point up by 1 apiece. What is Replicant thinking here? They're going to drop the Hydra. They're going to come in with the Roaster. Their aim is to just to punch through that Popper as much as they can. And not get slowed out too much by the Burchuck, which so far the Roaster is going to be able to at least fend that off as well. And it's just all down to whether or not the Phoenix can land through that back door. And so far Rafa just can't quite be as consistent with the Popper as they were against Riffer. The arm weak on the left hand side tried to go for a grab. It was a very long range grab, but Replicant saw it coming, kept it under control. Hit in with the roast, and you see how much damage it does just with those alone. Burchuck will hit, and Replicant falls to the bait. Actually going to take down the grab there, and Rafa with another crucial grab sends Replicant straight back down. Almost got a third in a row there, but Replicant just about managed to get away from it. And a Popper at this point would be absolutely brutal for the pair of them, but Replicant is going to fling on through. Remember, both going for the rush. Yes, the popper is quick, but the roaster will punch through it. And Rafa is going to fall in the end. And it's not going to go Rafa's way on this occasion. Replicant leads the set by 1-0. And looks like there's a little bit of chat going on in the Discord. I don't know what's happening here. It looks like we have a well, I guess I'm the host now. Looks like both are coming in with a bit of lag here. So we're just gonna see both of them reset just a little bit. So there's technical issues here. Both of them saying that they were experiencing lag on their side. So we're just gonna have the pair of them just double on out and rejoin. We'll see what happens from here on in. But so far, very good start. For both of them, to be fair, the Hydra switch to the roaster was absolutely a correct call for Replicant in the end. Yes, in a straight exchange, if both draw out, the popper is going to be the faster rush and just immediately blinds on in there. But if the roaster at least does go out first, it will just straight up punch through the popper, which is exactly what it did. So Replicant taking the initiative of this set as a result. We're just waiting for both of our finalists to rejoin. Looks like they're going to make up a new room actually, so I'm going to have to rejoin that. So I'm going to quickly pop this to the lobby just so nobody can see what's going on there. And we are looking for none of them are on here. That bodes well. They're not pinging up. Why aren't they pinging up? There we are. I'm trying to figure out where in the world they were. I just couldn't find them. But yeah, that was weird. None of them were pinging up when I went in, so that was a little weird. But we are back. I do apologize for the technical issues there, but we are going to be good to go now for point number 2 in our grand final. How long has this been going on? It has been up for 2 hours and 10 minutes now. Tournament started at tournament started at 2 p.m. BST. It is now 10 past 4 BST, so yeah, 2 hours and 10 minutes. And it looks like we are going to be good to go. They've switched sides as well, so we need to quickly update that on the scoreboard, which we can easily do. Replicant is now on the left. Rafa is now on the right. We are going to see Sparring Ring be picked by Rafa. And Rafa is going to come in with double nade. We saw this be attempted against Rifa in the previous match, the Underground Final. Replicant is going to come in with the Phoenix and the Roaster, and immediately you can see just how much of a choke it is with the double nades. There's so many explosives just flinging into your face, and Lolo is having a hard time being able to just get out of that. Just being trapped into the corner. There's nowhere to really hide. There's no real chance to exploit Lolo's mobility, and Rafa is having a whale of a time on this stage, and Replicant just doesn't have an answer for it at all, and it's going to go down incredibly quickly. Replicant gonna come in with the Hydra, see if that changes anything. Rafa, well, they're not gonna really... Well, no, they do switch. They switched out one of the nades for the Phoenix, clearly anticipating the Replicant was gonna switch up to try and exploit the double nade strat, and well, they've got an answer for it on every occasion here. Replicant does have rush, comes in with it, does land 320, puts them right back into contention on this point at the very least. And so far, Rafa keeping a cool head here. But they'll be a little bit fuming after that one though. Went for the rush, and the Phoenix once again is proven to be Rafa's Achilles heel here. That Phoenix just flying on through. And once again, it's going to get the stop on that rush. And Rafa is losing control of this match yet again. Replicant has an answer for it, but finally gets their momentum slowed down by a good, crucial grab. But advantage still very much in Replicant's side. They are looking for just one more hit. And again, Rafa just seems to underestimate this Phoenix. And it flies straight onto the side of their face and sends them down yet again. And Rafa's going to say, you know what? Screw this. We're going back to double nade. And so, Replicant has to go through this all over again. And so far it's working out though. The Hydra and the Phoenix, it's certainly walling off Rafa, and the Phoenix is catching on. And obviously every time it comes in as a charged hit, Rafa just immediately hits the deck, and they have to work their way back into the center time and time again. Replicant just cannot afford to allow Rafa to keep that momentum going. Health very much even Stevens here, both of the rush available, and Rafa's going to blink first, and does finally land it, 240. Certainly a decent rush from Rafa's point of view, and crucially gets the rush denial as well. Jumped right in the nick of time, and Replicant on the cusp of critical. Could see this point slip away from them in the end. Double nade is going to explode in their face. A big time grab from Rafa would be great right now. And so far Replicant is hanging on in there. Arm weak on the right hand side. And it's going to be the nade that gets the finishing touch. And Rafa is going to tie this set up 1 apiece. And so, with that, we are going to see this match go a little bit further. Replicant has it all to do. Remember, all Replicant needs to do is win the set outright, and it's over. Rafa has to do it 2 times. And it looks like it's going to be Buster Beat. That's going to be the call from Replicant. So it's going to be an interesting decision here, especially considering the fact that yes, Lola is very bouncy, and they're absolutely fine with Buster Beach. But we also know that Kid Cobra also is very much okay with Buster Beach as well, as we've seen happen against Ninjara in the previous match, where the second they get them in the hot pocket, Kid Cobra is going to run absolute wild in there. So Rafa is going to want to try and emulate that, but obviously Lollipop is just as hard to catch as Ninjara, if not that a little bit harder, just on the basis of they've got so many different outs with the shield and also the hopping mobility. And Rafa's going to bring in a Parabola into this matchup. Very interesting decision here. Sticks with the Hydra, obviously, but Rafa coming in with the double nades and is already trying to box Replicant into that hot pocket, who quickly says, no thank you, I'm having none of that. The grab is, however, going to be played right on the money. And Replicant is suddenly losing this matchup. Does get a tap through with the Parabola. If that was charged, that would have been devastating for Rafa, who finds themselves in the lower half of the beach and now towards the hot pocket. And Replicant's going to start pushing up on their own. Finally does back up a little bit. Rafa with rush available does manage to get a pick, both on a similar health here. A rush would KO on either side. And the nade is going to be the first one to poke on through. Replicant down into critical condition. Rafa knows they could go for the KO, and does so. Rafa taking the initiative. And Rafa is looking to turn this set and this final on its head. Replicant gonna stick with the Parabola and immediately jumps in with the rush. 325. I think they knew that Rafa was gonna commit to an attack straight on the get-go and was not gonna allow any of that. But so far, Rafa is landing the hits that matter the most. They are keeping themselves in contention. Yes, Replicant is able to at least hit on through with the Hydra, but so far the Parabola is just not working for them at the moment. Finally does poke on through, and when it does hit, the 1-2 combo that the Hydra brings to the table, it's literally the very next thing that hits, and it's just catching Rafa off guard. Takes the self-destruct hit, it will take them into critical condition. Replicant bounces on up, goes for the rush. It's going to get caught out by Rafa's own rush, who is going to commit to this despite being in critical condition. Actually going to get caught by the Hydra, and is also going to get caught by the grab, and that's going to cost them dearly. They went for the rush, they got the rush, but unfortunately they were immediately caught out by a solid hit from Replicant and a follow-up grab. And, well, gonna have to do it all over again. Crucially, though, both have utilized their rushes, but it's Replicant with the better start here, and also does catch in with another nice grab. And is going to try and keep Rafa in this bottom area, and is currently doing so. Every time Rafa tries to go up and slide and start doing their wonderful dip downs and be an absolute speed demon, Replicant just has a punch with their name on it. And another trade, but still going in the favor of Replicant. Rafa just can't get back into this match, it seems. Both with rush available, but Replicant has a massive health lead. It's going to be very hard for Rep to pull this back. Parabola does poke on through. You can see Rafa was trying to get the grab to at least throw momentum onto their side, but unfortunately it's going to be the Hydra that pokes on through. And Replicant is now going to put themselves in contention for winning their third Challenge Cup. They last won it 10 cups ago. It would be pretty sweet if they can turn it around and slice that streak out of there. But they've still got another match to play. And it looks like it's going to be Sparring Ring again, and we know that Rafa does very well with Sparring Ring, but having said that, Replicant did bring the fight to them, but we'll see what happens here. Because every single time Rafa tried to get back up onto the central platform, Replicant was just having none of it, just continuously beating them down with the Hydra. Again, it's one of those things where it's just like the Hydra just keeps on running through every single time. And it feels like if Rafa's not in an ideal position, he just can't seem to do anything about it. So we'll see how this plays out, but it's a must-win for Rafa at this point. There's a hammer in the back. Rafa, you're not gonna bring a whammer into this. You are no. You were teasing it, but it's gonna be double nade. Double nade versus the Hydra and the Phoenix, and Rafa again started with the first hit. Replicant knows what to expect in this kind of stage, in this kind of straight up fight. And as long as Rafa can start getting these chains, these combos, this wonderful little grab opportunity, just keep flinging Replicant straight back to the floor, they'll be able to take this to match 5. But like I said, Replicant, the longer the fight seems to go on, the more it seems to favor Replicant, because they're just able to hang in there just that little bit longer. Rafa with rush, ready to go, commits to it, boxes Replicant straight into the corner, 290 damage. Now they have to try and predict when Replicant is going to go for their rush, if they'll even go for it at all, which they might do, considering the fact that Rafa's on the cusp of crit. But Lola, straight up in Cobra's face, going to immediately get caught by another grab, and here comes the rush now. It does actually land in the end, 295, and this actually might come back to bite Rafa here. They're only a poke away, mind you, haven't said that. So too is Replicant. It does hit. It's a double. It's a double KO. Whoops. So we're going to redo that point like it never existed. It's a double KO between Replicant and Rafa in the grand final of all places. Well, this match just got that a little bit more interesting. Rafa has to do it all again against Replicant, who really currently holds all of the marbles here. 300 damage, big time solid damage from Rafa coming on through, and they are not going to take that double KO politely at all. Phoenix gonna start swinging on in. Hydra causes the self-destruction that puts Rafa right back down onto their butt. It's gonna be critical condition for Replicant. A big time grab is all that Rafa is looking for, and they do find it. I have several questions. I didn't think that grab was gonna hit, but Rafa will finally get the point that they were looking for, but they still need to win one more if they want to tie this set up. Double nade will likely be the option. Keeps on teasing that whammer. They're actually going to bring the whammer. Replicant going to bring in the parabola and actually got the stun with that as well. And Rafa only takes 60 damage in the end, and I don't think Rep was expecting this, but Rafa gets caught out. Rafa caught out on the back there. And it's a Rift Rush basically on both sides. A shock coming through on the parabola, but Replicant could not take advantage of it. It's a decision and a half to go for the whammer, but we'll see if it ends up paying out. It's such an interesting heavy arm. It has that flick before it does drop down, which is why Replicant is able to block it for the most part. Both with Rush available, but so far the advantage is in Replicant's side. And Rafa is already underneath the half health. Actually going to fling on through. Nice big damage here. 405. Turns this right on its head, but Replicant could still win this with a well-placed rush, especially if they can land a charged up parabola hit. Replicant on the cusp of going into critical condition. Rafa now a rush away from being KO'd, or just a straight up punch or a grab will do it as well. It's going to come in. Whammer just about misses. Could have put Replicant in a very dangerous situation, but the grab will most certainly do it, and we are gonna have a match 5. A double KO in the grand final in the first point of the 4th match. Rafa then took it comfortably in the 2nd point, and the 3rd point went the way of Rafa. But only just, in the end. This is how close it is between these two. And well, now, the rulebook gets flung out the window at this stage. If Replicant wins, Replicant is a 3-time champion. If Rafa wins, then I hope you've all got drinks and dinner prepared ahead of time, because we'll be doing another set. Who knows how this will play out. The only stages we seem to be seeing right now are Sparring Ring and Buster Beach, and yes, we are going back to Buster Beach, so it is all to play for here. For Replicant, it's a must win, because if they win, they are the champion. They do not get forced into a bracket reset. For Rafa, it's a must win, because if they lose, the title is over. If they win, like I said, we gotta do it all again. So, what is going to be the decision here? Rafa is throwing caution to the wind. Now, if you win a point and you change character, you have to announce the character change in to your opponent. And that's what's happened here. Rafa has switched from Kid Cobra to Twintel. I don't know what the plan here is, but we're gonna see what Replicant is gonna bring to the table, and Replicant is gonna bring a missile in the back there, and you see that Coolerang 2 Tri-Blast, homie. Time for some good old-fashioned Nuka-Cola, and Rafa is coming in with Twintel, coming in with Roaster and Lockjaw. It's a completely different character. It's a completely different set for Rafa. Can they make this work and take this into a bracket reset, or will Replicant be able to win in this, which is our final match of the grand final? Remember, the missile damage for the rush is absolutely huge. But if it's at least predicted, Rafa could be able to get themselves on the board. But so far, Replicant is just dominating this match at the moment. Has barely taken any damage at all. Rush is going to come out, but it's going to get denied hard by Rafa, who's going to try and come in with a spot of their own. Gets caught a little bit by the Triblast and double so again. Rafa has it all to do if they want to have any kind of a reset potential. Replicant slowly going back down towards that hard pocket. You don't want to be there, but the missile is going to catch Rafa in mid-air yet again. And Replicant isn't going to be too far away from a rush of their own, but 370 damage puts Replicant into critical as well. Now, we saw what happened at the first match of the previous point, where both went into a double KO and were slowly going to that kind of finish again. Rafa has turned this on its head. Rafa's looking for one more hit. Replicant's looking for one more hit. Don't do this to me again, you two. It's not gonna happen. Replicant finally fires on in. It's the Triblast that actually gets the KO. And it's championship point. It is championship point for Replicant. Rafa has it all to do. Thunderbird and a Roaster is going to be the call. Replicant is going to get grabbed immediately. I don't think they were expecting the grab to actually connect so quick. Nuka-Cola is still going to be the loadout for Replicant. Going to try and force Twintail into that pocket, but the Roaster again is going to catch the rush out. Replicant cannot utilize that rush in the slightest. They've been doing it the hard way, so we're going to have to see if they can keep that up. So far, they have managed to call down into the health, but that is going to be a good shock into another grab. Rafa is absolutely fighting for dear life here. Another big time grab and a third. 3 grabs in a row for Rafa here. They're just looking for another little pick to take Replicant into another point. But they cannot afford to waste away that rush, and I think they know that they'll use it if they absolutely need to, which they might end up doing so. And Replicant is slowly turning this back into their favor. They know that Rafa has to do something, but the grab finally hits. Rafa playing a incredibly patient game. It's still championship point, but now it's reset point as well. It all comes down to the final point of the grand final. Either Replicant wins the title or we do it all again. It's as simple as that. Both with rush available. Triblast will be the first one to do damage on the board. Missile follows up with a 1-2 explosive combination. And the bird does hit. Crucially though, Replicant managed to knock Rafa down. Grab is going to now finally come out. Rafa still very much in contention. They're both boxing very close together. Shield is going to just absorb all of that, but Replicant is going to get caught by the grab from Rafa. Rafa takes the initiative despite whiffing the rush, and this is going to turn it completely on its head. 455 damage, that's what the missile rush can do. It puts Replicant in the pound seat, but the shock is gonna fling Replicant into the other hard pocket. Rafa needs to keep this momentum going. Fires in with another shock into a reverse combination. The grab is hit. It's a reset. It's a reset set. Strap yourselves in, everyone. Buckle on down, get some popcorn, and call your friends and get them in here right now. We have got ourselves a reset bracket in the grand final. Well, this is as big as it comes. So the W and the L are both going to get removed. The score is going to get set to 0. We have a reset bracket on our hands. I kid you not. Rafa is determined to break what, the second longest... the second longest gap between cup victories. Only bested by Maxo, who won the first one. Oh my. So... Replicant needed one more point, but they just couldn't get it. And Rafa gets the break that they were looking for. We are going to start on Buster Beach. We're pretty much going to go all the way back. Who would have thought it would have came this close? Our final best of 5 of the day. And it's in the rare and elusive bracket reset final. Replicant as Lola on the left, coming in with the Tri-Blast and the Bird Chuck, gonna put their missile away for the time being. Rafa coming in with the Thunderbird and the Roaster, and immediately hits in with a shock and sends Replicant straight into the corner. This is gonna be... gosh. If you want more hype finals, well, you're looking right at them right now. As Rafa dips underneath the halfway mark, the Blasts are just able to start pinging them down, but Rafa is going to get another crucial grab that quickly sends the momentum back into their favor. Make that 2 grabs in succession, and a third. What in the world? Rafa going for the twin tail grab spam, gonna block out initially the first part of the rush, but actually drop their shield at the last possible moment. 230 damage, tries to go in for the bird, actually did get the shock but could not get a second on hit, and just decides, you know what, I'ma just rush. I want this point badly, I'ma take this. Rafa with a hat trick of grabs there that completely took it away from Replicant. Thunderbird and Roaster really is the combination to go, as another Tri-Blast comes on through. And Replicant is just getting caught out by these Thunderbirds, left and right. It just seems to be no end, and Rafa is just playing such an aggressive twin tail that every time Replicant tries to punch on through, the Thunderbird is able to get the shock when they least expect it. And in that hot pocket, you just don't want to be there, and Rafa is making absolutely sure that Replicant stays there. Hook, line, and sinker. Rep with rush available, but it's going to get caught with yet another grab. Into critical they go. Gonna come in with the rush. Actually does hit it. Scores 280. Sends Rafa onto the halfway mark. Rafa just about able to slow down the grab attempt in time. Rushes on in for the KO. And Rafa is gonna take the initiative in the grand final reset. They lead by 1-0. This grand final has had everything so far. It's had the match 5. It's had a double KO. It had comebacks. It had dominated points. The only thing it hasn't had... Well, sorry, obviously it's had the reset as well. But obviously the only thing it hasn't had at this point is a timed out draw. That's the only thing we're missing here. But honestly, if that happens, I think I might lose my voice. Who the heck knows where this is going to end up going. We're going straight back to Buster Beach. Replicant with Lola coming in with the nade and the homie. Still going to come in for a lot of explosive damage. Rafa, meanwhile, sticking with the Thunderbird and the Roaster. It's been doing well for them so far in this final. Ever since they made the switch to Twin Tail, Replicant has had to basically just try and relearn everything that Rafa is throwing their way. Arm weak on the right hand side, but it'll fade away because Rafa gets another crucial grab and once again starts to put the pressure on Replicant. Replicant is probably coming into this knowing full well that they're very much reliant on how this rush plays out here. Grab is going to be deflected out, and that is what I was talking about. 445 damage on the rush. And here comes a response from Rafa. Is going to ping on in. 300 damage. Beautifully done. Thunderbird is going to miss, but that's okay because the Roaster hits anyway. And again, forcing Replicant into a position where they just can't do anything about the grab. finally does get a punch on through, but Rep knows one more hit is going to take it away from them yet again. Nade puts Rafa into critical condition. They could still yet come back from this. We've said it time and time again, but the comeback is not going to be on this time round. Rafa will take the initiative yet again in the second point. It's starting to go towards Rafa. The Rifa Revolution could be about to be replaced by the Rafa Revolution, but Replicant still has a lot to play for here. They still have plenty that they can do. Tri-Blast and Homie is going to be the call this time round. But so far the Roaster is still flinging on through. Grab is not going to be connecting this time round. Bolt will stop it from happening. Both with Rush available. Roaster charged up, deals big time damage, but the left arm is going to break and give up on Rafa. Just a little bit too much pressure that Replicant is putting them under. It goes both ways, you know, my friend. Hovering on up, keeping that slow motion in play. Gonna try and break shield perhaps. Nope. In the end, it's just chip damage and nothing more. Aren't we on the left hand side still? But it does finally fade away. And Rafa now on the lower side of things. Does not want to be here because the missiles will do massive damage. 415. One more poke is all the Replicant is looking for. Just needs to find it. Anything will do. Even an explosion will do it. But it's going to be another grab from Rafa that sends Replicant into critical condition. Don't do this to me again, you two. I don't think I'd be able to stand another double KO. But it's not going to happen on this occasion. The bolts will fling on through. And it's going to be one apiece yet again in these points, but crucially Rafa does still have a little bit of advantage here. They're going to be the closest to the rush. Thunderbird and Roaster still going to be the call versus that Tri-Blast and the Homie, and if anything, it's the explosion that once again catches Rafa a little bit off guard, but they're forcing Replicant into that hot pocket, and Lola knows that's not where you want to be, and that's exactly what they're going to get caught out with. Only 185 at the very least, but they've got a rush of their own if they want to fire on back with something, and they do so. But Replicant Replicant's going to miss with most of that. Does at least get one explosion in there, so at least keeps it in their favor somewhat. And the Tri-Blast will connect again, just dealing that first point of damage before exploding right in Twin Tail's face. As the Roaster bounces off the shield, Replicant going to score again. That Roaster is really giving them some grief, and the Thunderbird does poke through as well. Shock grab combination, that's going to be another, but Rafa could not deal any damage. Actually gets another shock, but again could not deal anything with it. But the Rush will now KO from here, and Rafa has absolutely turned this around. It's a 2-0 lead in the grand final reset. Replicant is determined to win on Buster Beach. Every single time the loss comes out, Replicant says, no, we're not going anywhere else but Buster Beach. It has to be Buster Beach. If I can't win on Buster Beach, then I can't win, full stop. But they've got a whole lot of work to do here. Rafa is on the brink of ending one heck of a cup drought right here, right now. Rafa, Nade, Thunderbird, Roaster in that back. We know what Replicant is going to bring to the table. Tri-Blast and the Parabola is going to come out alongside it this time round as the third match is underway. Rafa just needs two more wins. That's all they're looking for, and the championship is going to be theirs after one heck of a comeback here. Replicant forced into the corner is going to catch another big time explosion. They need to get as many of these hits to be as consistent as possible. Arm weak on the left hand side. The pressure is absolutely real from Replicant. Already has Rush available. Rafa almost into critical condition. This is exactly what Replicant is wanting to do. Arm is down. Nothing that Rafa can do about it. 335 damage. Rep is just looking for one more hit. That's all they need, and look how aggressive Twin Tail decides to play it, but is finally going to get taken down. So, Rafa with Rush ready to go, but Replicant has the driver's seat right now. They have the lead. That's what they're looking for. Taking that first point, they know full well that Rafa has to do all of the work here, and it's gonna be another shock through. That parabola is absolutely proving crucial for them right now, but the grab is gonna come the way of Rafa. Thunderbird tries to fly on around. I think they get a little bit of a poke, and the Roaster again gonna fling on in with big time damage. Rush comes out, but Replicant just about gets into the corner and into safety to shield the rest of that attack. Rush now ready on Rep's side. Lola will try and waddle on in, forcing Rafa into that pocket. There's nothing Twintail can really do about this unless they can get a good hit with the Thunderbird. But so far the hits are going Replicant's way. Rafa trying to turn on the aggressive card, but Replicant so far has a read for it and gets a good grab of their own. Bounces straight back into Rafa's face and quickly bounces away again, just keeping their opponent on their toes. Explosion is going to catch Replicant off guard. Rush will connect. It's going to knock them down though, so can't get the KO. And somehow inadvertently jumps into a well-placed grab there by Rafa. 30 seconds left on the clock. Rafa has Rush, knowing full well that Replicant is just looking for one more poke, because the 1-2 combination will take it down. And don't you dare. Could a reverse sweep still happen here? Replicant taking the point back. It's now 2-1. Rafa could not get a point on their side, but crucially here, Rafa gets to pick the next two stages. So you never know. You never know. We're going to see Mozart and Via banned, and you know exactly what Rafa's going to pick, and that's Sparring Ring. So Rafa has done the hard part. They've won twice on Buster Beach. All they need to do is win on Sparring Ring, and the title, the cup, is theirs. Oh my word, it's not over yet though. It's not over yet. You saw how well Replicant was able to work that entire match in their favor, but now they know that Cobra's coming back, because this is Sparring Ring. And Cobra is the better choice than Twintail any day here. And there's going to be a Megawatt and a Nade on the side. But you know Cobra's going to run that Popper. And there it is. Popper Megawatt versus Hydra and Parabola as we go into round number 4. Technically, it's round number 9 of this reset. And the Parabola is going to get the shock on Rafa, turning it around. But very quickly, Rafa is going to just play the aggressive card. And Replicant knows they need to keep this Cobra at bay. Finds in with the shot, could not take advantage of it, and gets caught by the Popper in retaliation. Replicant has to keep bouncing around that wall. They know how big and how troublesome it can be, but it's also slow. So Lola can still have the mobility to fly around it, but that is not what they wanted to do. Punching into the wall, it will just punch through everything. And that is going to be a quick grab denial. Chained it through, 365, puts it into Replicant's favor, but Rafa knows they are in KO range. If they can get a solid hit in, they'll commit to it now. There should be a KO. It is a KO. And crucially for Rafa, this is championship point to end the second longest cup drought in the Challenge Cup history. It's all to play for right now. Rafa gets a good start, hits him with the Popper not once but twice. The Watt coming in with a big time shock. And Rafa is looking at a perfect to try and seal this. It would be amazing if they could. But Replicant says, no way, we are not having a perfect in the grand final. Popper is going to land again. Replicant on the cusp of critical. Rafa is not showing any mercy here. Finally does get caught by the Hydra. Replicant does have Rush, will commit to it now, but is caught by the Popper. Rafa has Rush of their own and they know full well this is KO range. Gonna commit to it now, but Replicant is gonna avoid it. Waddles on with the shield and says, no, I am not done yet. This is still my championship to fight for. Parabola is gonna catch Rafa in midair. Popper not gonna quite hit, but the Watt does, and the Popper scores through, and Rafa, of all people, is gonna end the second longest cup drought in Challenge Cup history and wins their second Challenge Cup after a heck of a comeback, beating Referee in the Underground final and beating Replicant not just in one set, in an absolutely nail-biting set that went the distance. to winning it 3-1 in the bracket reset. My word, what a tournament that has been played out for you today. Rafa takes the win. It's their second cup win, their first since the second ever Challenge Cup. It has been such a long time. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? As it stands, it is a record. It is easily the longest cup drought that has been sliced right there. Obviously, the longest will be Maxo until they eventually do win one, since they did win in the first one. But records are records, and Rafa put on a performance and a half. Congratulations to Rafa. My word, what can you say about this bracket? Rafa was beaten by Replicant in the semi-final 2-1. From there, Rafa beat Alimento 2-0, beat Yam 2-0, beat reigning champ Riffa 3 points to 1, and then the grand final. 9 rounds. 9 rounds of absolute beautiful arms from both Replicant and Rafa. A 3-2 first set, which included a double KO, nonetheless, that went the way of Rafa after Replicant had championship point, no less, and turned it around to win it 3-1 in the reset. What else can you say? What else needs saying? Thank you all so much for coming by. I hope you've had a lot of fun. I certainly have had an absolute blast. It's been a busy weekend for me, having casted 3 different tournaments in 2 days, helping with the Splatoon 2 Duo Cup during yesterday afternoon, helping out with the Women's Cardboard Championship for the start of their second season of Rocket League. That was last night. And then today, the EU Arms Challenge Cup for Arms. It's been an amazing weekend, and I hope you've all enjoyed the arms that have been on display here. Thank you so much. You have all been fantastic, both as fighters, as spectators, and obviously a big shout out to those running stuff behind the scenes. You have kept things going absolutely smoothly, and I can't thank you all enough. With that, we are done. Feel free to keep an eye on all the shenanigans coming up from European Arms at European_Arms on Twitter, the EU Arms competitive channel over on YouTube, obviously here on Twitch at EU_Arms. And if you want to join our Discord to see what everything else is happening around this and also outside of Arms, you can head into the description below to have a look. If you want to see what I get up to in the meantime, whilst I try to recover my voice from this weekend, you can find me at Tamashikandrew on both Twitter and on Twitch. Hope that you've enjoyed listening to this girl's voice, and without further ado, take care of yourselves. Congratulations to all, and remember to stay fighting fit and stay fresh.